Ham.
Mark, it's certainly a great night for football, and I am just ecstatic to be in the booth with you.
Well, glad you're here, and glad you're here for this game in particular because there's some very interesting matchups. The series has been lopsided, but there's a good chance this game might not be, and that's all going to start when the Mocs are running the ball.
Eldred Buckley has proven to be one of the better backs in the conference early in the season, and John Moran have a tough time getting around that big offensive line to stop him.
Yeah, a lot of people will be looking at linebacker number 47 and all his tackles to take care of that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, some questions about Georgia Southern stumbling out of the gate this year, and it kind of starts behind the center.
Always at Georgia Southern, the history starts with the quarterback, and certainly Jason Foster will have to do a good job of running the offense as well. Vincent St. Preux would have to do a good job of stopping him from running north and south and getting to run east and west.
Well, those are just some of the things we'll be looking for tonight. Again, the Mocs and the Eagles in what should be a fascinating game. You're watching Southern Conference Sports on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. It is a warm and festive evening in Statesboro, Georgia. Paulson Stadium, home of the Georgia Southern Eagles, Southern Conference football here on CSS. I'm Mark Bryant. My broadcast partner tonight is Tracy Ham, and we're ready for a good game tonight. This should be an intriguing matchup as Coach Rodney Allison leads his Chattanooga Mocs into hostile territory. There's Coach Allison, Tracy.
Well, Coach Allison, he has a 0-2 record against Georgia Southern. He has his team playing well now thus far this year, and he's building a good program over there.
And on the other side of the ball, Mike Sewak.
Mike Sewak, their team's against the wall. This is a good test for them. They'll find out what they're made of after this game here.
You know, this series has been rather lopsided. Georgia Southern leads. They've won 17 out of 18 meetings. We'll see if number 19 is any different tonight. And here's the opening kick. The ball is up. It is short. It's going to come down around the 20-yard line. The Eagle return, reversing field. Number 13. He didn't get much out of that for Georgia Southern. A.J. Bryant. No relation. Bryant from Bushnell, Florida. Senior. And that will turn to the Eagles offense. And what should we expect to see out of the Eagles? Well, we have a flag, actually. We have a flag on the kickoff, so we'll see if they want to do this over. It's decent field position. Let's hear from our referee, Ed Rhodes. Offsides on the kick, and it looks like Coach Sewak and the Eagles want to make them do it again, try to get a return on.
I think they really want to get the ball to one of their deep returners, Mark. That's where all the speed's at with Teddy Kraft and Lewis Barr at the return guys.
So we'll set it up again. There, as we said, is the series history. Georgia Southern has never lost to Chattanooga here at Paulson Stadium.
Well, history is certainly on their side, but the way we've been playing this year is certainly history. We need history to come up big for us.
Eagles fans are not used to seeing Georgia Southern stumble out of the gate, and they're certainly not used to seeing the Mocs have the better record coming into this game.
You're so true with that, Mark.
Chattanooga 2-1, Georgia Southern 1-2. And we are ready once again for the opening kick. The ball is up, and we're underway. It will go to the deep man at the 5. Past the 20, and this is a good return for number 85, Teddy Kraft. He'll get it out to about 34-yard line, and that is where the Eagles offense will begin the day. They gained some yardage on that penalty.
We just got to do a good job of getting the ball in the hands of our speed guys. Teddy Kraft is certainly one of our speed guys, and I look forward to Mike getting the ball to the speed guys and letting them work and not putting it all in Jason's hands.
There's number 4, the sophomore, 5'9", 164-pound, number 4, Jason Foster. He will have the ball under center, and he's going to run an option left. Gets out to about the 40-yard line. That'll set up a 2nd and 4.
Well, Jason has been doing a good job carrying the ball. He's actually been one of the better runners on the offense, but I think the key is for them getting the ball in other hands.
Here's what to look for the Eagles. That offensive line, including Lance Wayne at center and Chad Moat. Chad Moat getting a lot of preseason accolades. And in the backfield, Jason Foster, we've already talked about. Keep your eye on number 6, Jermaine Austin. And, of course, Teddy Kraft, who ran back that kick. He's out there as well. So it is 2nd and 4 from the 40. Handoff up the gut. pushes through for a first down. Great surge for Georgia Southern.
Jason Foster has to do a good job of reading the three technique.
Here's the other side of the ball, and you look at the line with 3 up front for the Mocs and 4 linebackers, including St. Preux, who we talked about off the top, and the defensive secondary. Greg McConico is one they've moved around. They're hoping for a good game from him. Motion to the right. Foster will pitch to the right side and across midfield. Number 31, Linlon Jefferson, is pulled out of bounds, and a big gainer for the home team.
And that's real encouraging to see, is Jason getting a good solid pitch out, getting the ball on the corner. I think that's where he might really want to get the ball on the corner early in the ball game, which will open up for Jermaine Foster as the ball game progresses.
They had open field to the right side. Good work on the pitch. And the Mocs know that's coming, but they still didn't have that one well defensed. So here it is, 1st and 10 at the 32. Mocs territory for the Eagles. Foster under center. Motion starts left, comes back right. Pitch again to the right side, and number 21, Rajah Andrews. And they're spreading the ball around a lot early.
Yeah, it's certainly encouraging to see early in the ball game Jason Foster not being afraid to pitch the ball, letting somebody else work for him and not trying to carry the load himself.
So that's a setup for 2nd down and short. 2nd and 3, let's call it, from the 25-yard line. Quick work for the Eagles, moving right on down the field. There you had a look at Andrews' play again. This time, Foster gives up the gut, and they're inside the 15. That time,
Jermaine Foster has been doing a really good job of keeping the linebackers at home, and if he can continue to do that and run as tough as he runs, it'll be a long day for the defense.
You're looking at number 6, Jermaine Austin, a Walter Payton Award candidate and a star runner for this team. When he gets going, he is a tough load to bring down. Foster, motion again to the right side. Keeps it himself, and he breaks through 2 tackles. He's going to score. Foster in for the touchdown.
And that's why he's at quarterback. That's what he needs to do, be real comfortable with the ball, make plays with the ball. And on that series there, you can see he was real comfortable on that series.
2 minutes and 20 seconds is all that the home team needed. They're on their feet in Statesboro. 6-0, and they prepare to tack on the point. Georgia Southern out strong. They're going to snap it wide. And a little swinging gate effort that amounted to nothing.
The Mocs were prepared for it. It looked like they thought they caught him off guard, but actually UT did a good job of preparing for that.
Well, that point notwithstanding, a great drive for the Eagles. It's 6-0 Georgia Southern. You're watching CSS Sports. 6-0 favoring the homestanding Georgia Southern Eagles. Jonathan Dudley set to kick off.
About 11 yards per play. That's incredible.
Yeah, 2 minutes 20 seconds for that scoring drive. Impressive as well. Ball all the way inside the 5-yard line, and that's where the Mocs will try to bring it back, and they only get as far as the 15.
Penalty flag down as well.
In on the tackle for Georgia Southern, number 17, Dedrick Bynum, and number 28, Chris Covington.
That drive seemed to just lift Georgia Southern spirits. You can see the energy they had going down on the kickoff, and coupled with the flag, I mean, you can see that they come ready to play today.
Bad block for the Mocs, and you would have almost thought there wasn't enough of a return for it. It was over quickly as Covington and Bynum drove the runner down in short order.
Real important drive for Tennessee, UT Chattanooga right here. They just got to get something going and be consistent with their play here.
A look back at the drive, as we said, 6 plays, 66 yards, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And Tracy, you're a quarterback. Foster, your evaluation on drive 1?
Well, the key that more than him and the fullback touched the ball. He was able to get the ball out in other people's hands, and so therefore they had to defend the whole field.
Here come the Mocs. Our first look at Chattanooga. Deep handoff. Short gainer on the right side.
Their offensive line is so big. If they control the line of scrimmage, then Buckler will have a big day. And if they don't, then it'll be a long day for the Mocs.
Here's the up front lineman for Chattanooga, and they got some big guys out there. It'll be interesting to see if they can control anything. Antonio Miller and Eldred Buckley, a lot of eyes will be cast to them today. 2nd and 5 now. And possibly changing up the play. Play clock still running, down to 10 seconds. Miller gets the snap off just in time, hands to Buckley, right side. He's not going to get much, maybe a yard on that.
Georgia Southern doing a real good job of controlling the line of scrimmage. And if they can continue to control the line of scrimmage, that's the key for a running team, is can your offense control their defensive line.
Eagles defense with 4 up front. And the linebacker core, including John Mooring, we talked about up front. And in the defensive secondary, Tariq Muhammad is definitely another one to watch. He's a good player at strong safety. There's Mooring, number 47, giving some defensive cues to his mates out there. And they showing blitz on this play. In the shotgun is Miller. Snap is not a good one, but he does a great job pulling it in. And it is complete. Still on his feet to the 30.
Just a great job by Emmanuel Hassel. He did a good job of catching the ball in traffic. They picked up the blitz well. Quarterback stood in there. Just a good job by the quarterback, Antonio Miller, being able to withstand the blitz. And that's probably the 3rd time Georgia Southern has blitzed on this drive already.
Hassel, number 80 out of Memphis, a junior. Of course, that didn't help the Mocs last week when Memphis ran up one side of them and down the other in a 59-14 win. But a little momentum here as both offenses looking good so far today. A 1st and 10 at the 30. Handoff to Buckley is met hard.
I think
actually, that's number 34, LaRonnie Davis,
right,
spelling Buckley.
Yeah,
on
and him and Buckley. Davis actually was the starter, and Buckley came and unseated him, so it's not uncommon to see them in and out. I think the key was the Mocs are going no-huddle offense here, and it's giving them a chance to keep the momentum going for them, which we hadn't seen in a while.
They're trying fresh legs again. Buckley in, Davis out, and they line up in the I. Miller looks to the sideline for more cues. 10 seconds on the play clock. Fans trying to make some noise now to disrupt Miller. Kind of a half pump, and then out to Hassel again on the near side. He breaks a tackle to the 40.
Great play by Hassel. I tell you, we didn't do a very good job of tackling the ball carrier there, and it just was a simple hitch pass. And Hassel has been a big play receiver for UT Mocs.
And so, in short order, we find that UTC has crossed midfield. Again, each of these offenses working quickly and working efficiently here in quarter number 1. We are only 5 minutes gone in this game. 6-0, Georgia Southern. Miller gets back in the shotgun once again. They show some movement at the corners, faking a blitz or bringing a blitz. They're bringing it. It will be Miller keeping, running toward the blitz. A good read by Miller. And he gets most of his 10 yards right there on 1st down.
Yeah, the no-huddle offense really is getting Georgia Southern. They wanted to surprise him with a blitz, but with them holding the snap count, he was able to see the blitz coming and then able to pick it up, and it wasn't a real big factor. They gained 9 yards then. So good job by the UT Mocs offensive staff.
One more look, and they managed to throw him right into the down marker.
Yeah, Miller's done a good job managing the offense thus far.
2nd and short. Mocs trying to make up that opening score that they gave up to the Eagles. Miller staying in the shotgun, showing blitz from the other side, and Miller is going to audible. Takes it down to 3 on the play clock. Quick throw to his left. Hit immediately and a fumble. Out of bounds. It's going to remain with UTC. Number 84, Johnny Powell had it, dropped it, but a good bounce keeps the Mocs alive. What good luck for the visitors.
Once again, they've been able to. Georgia Southern's trying to disguise the blitz. Here's the blitz come. They pick it up. He makes a good throw out to the wide receiver. Good contact here. Mooring, the guy we talked about at the top of the show. And they just couldn't pick up the blitz. Couldn't pick up the ball then.
It was the second contact from T.J. Rutledge that knocked that one out. What you saw there is Powell did a good job holding on through first contact because he got drilled, but he wasn't ready for the guy coming in from the other side.
Second guy in. That's good. Good pursuit by Georgia Southern running to the football.
Showing blitz once again from one side and then another. Miller does the quick handoff to Buckley. He is met immediately. And again, it's number 42, Rutledge.
They blitz almost every down. Georgia Southern has decided they're going to come after them and make them make plays.
Rutledge with 2 good plays in a row on defense for the Eagles in the blue and white.
One thing you see from the UT Mocs, they're real calm. You know, playing in a Division I stadium, being real calm about what's going on here with Georgia Southern.
Again, getting more cues from the sideline. Miller has his backs in the eye. Motion on the left side. It will come to Buckley. Straight up the middle. Short gain. It will bring a 3rd down.
They've been able to do a good job of containing the run because they're blitzing and gap control blitz, meaning they're just taking every gap and blitzing the guy through the gap. So Buckley really doesn't have any running room. But what they've been hurt at is the cornerback playing so deep off the receiver. They've been throwing little hitch passes.
Yep.
So the ball's been coming out relatively quickly from Miller.
Here's another look at Coach Allison. You know, he played a season of pro ball. Canadian. He played for the Toronto Argonauts.
Toronto Argonauts. I got a season in with Toronto.
Oh, look at that. He got back in time. They'll go to the opposite side. And Buckley with a spin and drilled. Taken down at the 15. Muhammad Ahmad Abdus-Salam for the Eagles was well offside. Still managed to get back. Great job by the Mocs keeping composure running the play.
Yes.
And what a hit at the end.
What a hit at the end. And that was John Morin. He came around. He's been really pursuing well. And I can see why he was one of the guys we highlighted at the top of the show. He's really been sideline to sideline type of player.
We're seeing Mooring and Rutledge all over the field. I'm also seeing Abdus-Salam come off after that play. He may get a quick talking to by his coordinators about where he's supposed to be.
He had the idea, but what's causing them problem is that they're holding the snap count. And Georgia Southern is trying to disguise the blitz, and so they're not able to time the blitz up with the snap count. Man
down for Georgia Southern, so we're sitting in an official timeout for the moment. 6-0, Eagles on top, and that's what they did exactly what they needed to do when they got the ball off the opening kick. They went right down and scored, a great confidence builder. But what does it do to the home team when the ensuing drive comes right back down their throats like that?
Well, I think Georgia Southern will be happy with giving up the 3 in the event that they attempt the field goal here. But I think if I'm Coach Allison and the UT Mocs, I'm happy because we took the ball from our own end and brought it out and given ourselves an opportunity to score points.
We're going to step aside for just a moment. We'll be right back. Stick around for this great game today on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Back at Paulson Stadium at the campus of Georgia Southern University, where the Eagles lead 6-0, and the Mocs are about set to try and cut that in half with a field goal attempt by number 15, Esteban Lopez. The player helped off the field for the Eagles, Shaheen Solomon, defensive end, number 88, a junior out of Macon, and he really wasn't putting any weight on those legs on his way off the field. So here's the attempt from Lopez. He will be kicking a 32-yarder. It's up, and it's good.
We got a roughing the penalty kicker here.
Well, let's see how that changes things. It was 4th and 5, so even if it's a running into, it could result in a first down.
5-yarder.
Let's see where they go on the spot. It could either be right at the marker or just short of it.
I'm on the road. If I'm Coach Allison, if it's short, I go for it and try and change the course of the game right here.
Coach Sewak not pleased, and he's sharing a few words of wisdom with number 17, Diedrich Bynum.
So they got a first down here, and the offense will be back on the field.
All righty, look at that. 1st and goal at the 10 for the Mocs.
Mark, and I think that's some of the things that's been plaguing the Georgia Southern team thus far. They've lost 2 very close ball games to 2 good football teams, but mistakes and penalties are the reason why they're 1-2 instead of 3-0.
Yeah, historically, Georgia Southern has not played a lot of close games. That's because mainly they've been blowing opponents out. But they've lost a couple close ones this year. The run up the gut is stuffed immediately. They fake an option left, but that ball was already smothered right at the line by a host of Eagles.
Yeah, Georgia Southern defensive line is doing a really good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, and that's surprising given the size of the UT Mocs offensive line.
So it will be 2nd and goal from the 10. A look at the Georgia Southern sideline. A little anxious now. They don't want to see the Mocs punch this in. We're halfway through the first quarter. Miller under center for the Mocs. He will keep it himself, and a little toss to the right side, just short of the goal line. Number 42, Levante Barber, sophomore fullback out of Cleveland, Tennessee, gets it real close for a third down.
What a great way to negate a blitz, a pressure situation. You play action and you dump it off to the back. The linebacker's coming up. Who's responsible for the running back now? It becomes the free safety. See, free safeties make them run all the way. What a great play call by the UT Mocs offensive staff.
Well, they took the field goal off the board to get the first and goal. They've gotten it down to the 2 or the 3. Let's call it the 3-yard line. 3rd and 3. Power formation here for the Mocs. Miller gets the snap, fumbles it, lands on it. They're going to have to try and kick again from the 5.
Wow, just a tough time to make a fumble. I mean, if you're Georgia Southern, you're happy about it. If you, Coach Allison, he's really steamed up about it, as you can see. Had a chance to make a difference in the game.
Well, you certainly don't want to take the money points there off the board just to have to try and kick again. There's ground level.
You always hear don't take points off the board. In that case, I think he was justified in taking because it was a first down. But he just want to get out of here with 3 now.
Absolutely. This is now an escape instead of a reward.
Certainly.
What would it mean if the Eagles could actually block one here? Up and through the uprights. Lopez just as automatic this time as last time. And so that does cut it in half. 6-3. Tell me right now what you think, Tracy, each sideline feels after that turns into a field goal.
Well,
here.
if I'm Coach Allison, I'm really happy with where we are offensively. Got some concerns on defense. I feel like defensively they just went through the defense relatively with ease that time. And if I'm on Georgia Southern sideline, I'm thinking, hey guys, look, defensively, so all we got to do is tighten up our cornerbacks. We're doing a good job stopping the run.
Well, we're looking at talking football. Will Vanderbilt remain undefeated? Can 15th-ranked Georgia Tech prevail over number 4 Virginia Tech? Review Saturday's gridiron matchups with Danny Sheridan on Talking Football Sundays at 7 only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. And we're enjoying talking some football here in Statesboro as well. 6-3 is our score. Eagles on top of the Mocs. And by the way, they make it very clear in their materials, it's not moccasins, it's not mockingbirds, it's not mock anything, it's Mocs. It's Mocs.
So remember that, the Mocs. The UTC Mocs.
Yes. You can call them UTC or you can call them Chattanooga, but you better call them Mocs.
Okay, we'll remember that. We don't make anybody mad up in Tennessee.
6:23 to go in the opening quarter of play. I'm Mark Bryant, Tracy Ham alongside me, and a 6-3 ball game favoring the home team. And the kickoff from number 43, Craig Carney, goes into the end zone, and it will be down there.
Good job by the UT Mocs.
Quick look at how the field goal got on the board for the Mocs, and look at that, 14 plays, 87 yards. 6 minutes, 17 seconds. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great statement for the UT Mocs offensive unit on the road. Very comfortable playing on the road again. It's their 3rd game in a row on the road, so they're very comfortable, and I think they're happy with where they are right now in the game.
And the key play that turned out to not be so key, the roughing or the running into the kicker. Foster will keep going left side. He's found some open space, and he cuts back to the middle. Another juke. And he will get inside the 25-yard line, and the crowd goes out of their minds for number 4, Jason Foster. What open field running that was.
Great open field running. You can see the speed. You can see why Coach Sewak loved this kid at quarterback. As a young quarterback, you take the mistakes, but you see what he can do with the ball in the open field, and this is why they have to live through his young mistakes until they can get him to be a veteran.
You know what? Here's another look at it real fast because he runs real fast. There's Foster. Man, he just leaves guys in the dust, turning wrong shoulders, getting completely lost. And the action now, they give it to Austin. He breaks through for the touchdown. A 2-play drive.
If you turn your head, you missed everything, Mark. 2-play drive, wow. That's all you can say at this time, because if Foster's not doing it, you can see Jermaine's doing it, and you got the Moccasin reeling on their heels right now.
Call that one the Double J drive, Jason and Jermaine, because that's all it took.
And that's been the mainstay of this offense. Jermaine and Jason has been doing the work. I think for them to continue to move forward in the conference, they have to get the A-backs involved.
Place kicker Jonathan Dudley is going to try to make it a 10-point lead, and he does. 13-3. A quick scoring drive for the Eagles of Georgia Southern.
We barely caught our breath, and there you go, and the score's on the board.
And it's 13-3 favoring Georgia Southern. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. 10-point lead for the Eagles. They will kick off to the Mocs, and Mocs answered one time. We'll see if they can answer again, but what a punch in the gut that has to be to watch those two big plays come right at you and score the quick touchdown.
You got to be concerned if you're the Mocs defense, because they have done nothing to stop it. 8 plays, 146 yards, an 18.3 per play average. It is got to be a concern for the defensive staff.
And Jason Foster already has 76 yards rushing. We're still in the opening quarter.
And we've basically controlled the ball offensively. Now we'll see if the defense come out fired up to stop them.
Dudley set to kick. 5:56 remaining in the opening period. Hassel, one of the deep backs. And he's going to try and collect this one. He gets it at the 10. Cuts to his right, breaks through, past the first wave of tacklers, and he will stumble out of bounds at about the 32, 33-yard line.
Mark Hassel's been the best player on the field for the UT Mocs thus far. He's caught the ball, he's shown that he's very elusive, and he's done a really good job of getting positive yards for them.
We'll see if they call his number much on this drive. Trailing by 10, the Mocs take the field again. And here's Hassel on the return. And number 36, Joe Turner, makes sure that Hassel finds the sideline with very little hassle at all. So Miller, Antonio Miller, the sophomore quarterback under center. His back's in the eye. Got 2 receivers lined up wide to his left. Georgia Southern cheating up on the line again, and this time straight up the middle is Davis. Ronnie Davis just kind of a run almost in slow motion, but he got good yardage.
You know, Ronnie Davis has really been a guy that's been the mainstay of the offense, and then they bring in Buckley. Now he's pushed it back second team, so he's really looking to prove that he can still play at a high level.
You know, I think there's a lot of players on both sides of the ball early in the season who do have a lot to prove. I mean, and Foster, key among them perhaps for Georgia Southern, because some people have questioned his performance early.
Certainly has done a good job thus far.
Well, you can't fault the numbers, no doubt about that. Here's Miller on his 1st and 10 snap. Goes back, looking deep, lets it go. A little bit too much.
Great pressure on the quarterback then. One of my concerns thus far for the Georgia Southern defense is people breaking tackles. You know, there's been a lot of broken tackles by the UT Mocs offensive players against our defenders. We're not really doing a good job of wrapping up the ball carrier.
Do you think is it technique or is it conditioning? I mean, we're still early in the game. It shouldn't be conditioning.
It shouldn't be conditioning. It's got to be technique, because at this stage in the game, these kids should be doing a better job of tackling the ball carrier.
It is a warm night, though. Conditioning may be a factor before it's all over. Hand off to Davis. Again, rambling right up the gut.
One of the things that's been standing out to me up here, Mark, is that Georgia Southern is almost blitz at linebacker on every play.
Certainly that must have been one of the great keys in practice and preparation for the game against the Mocs this week, but certainly not proving to be generally effective here, because the Mocs are getting a lot of positive yardage.
They've done a good job of handling the blitz. I think the hurry-up offense has kind of thrown them off, but they can't really catch a rhythm for the UT Mocs offense.
Miller calling out his signals. He's going to have a hard time getting that play off. He calls timeout. 3rd and 4, and the play clock betrayed him on that one.
Good timeout. I think this is a real crucial situation for them, and I know it's tough to say it's that crucial this early, but it's a crucial early play for them, because I think if they're going to stay in this game, they have to get points out of this drive, because one of the problems they've had is containing offensively the Georgia Southern offense, and they've forced them into a scoring fest.
Well, we've seen some scores from elsewhere in the Southern Conference today. A double overtime final, Furman beating Hofstra 44-41, and App State all over the Citadel 45-13 today. That's a final, a halftime score. North Carolina A&T leading Elon 7-6. And here, 13-3 favoring the Georgia Southern Eagles against the Chattanooga Mocs. Mocs huddled together, trying to come up with their next course of action on a 3rd and 4 play coming off the timeout. Coach Allison doing his best to coach him up, as Steve Spurrier likes to say.
Coach him up.
Coach him up.
Furman has been in some really close ball games this year. You know, we looked early this season, they won on the last play. Now you got the double overtime against Hofstra. They've won some close ball games.
So a big play here. Eagles and Mocs come back to midfield. It's at the Georgia Southern 48. 3rd down and 4. Crowd coming in their feet. A good crowd on hand, but not quite a full house.
Not quite.
Hoping they can maybe squeeze out a few more people tonight, but still a very enthusiastic bunch out here. They're loud and proud. Miller is in the shotgun. Finds an open man in the middle. Throws low. It's Hassel. Tries to make the catch.
Well, the defender got their hand on the ball. That was actually tipped as it left his hand, so it made it be a difficult catch for him. What a big stop by the defense.
So they will line up to punt. You see Hassel there going out wide. 4:28 to go in the first quarter. Punter is number 46, Jonathan Wright. Wright, a sophomore. 6'2", 229-pound punter. Puts that one, bounces at the 5 and grabbed at the 1. And who is it? Hassel.
Hassel's been the best player on the field thus far tonight, and he proves again in the right spot at the right time.
Well, so the Mocs are daring Georgia Southern to think, if you can move down the field that fast, try 99.
Well, we certainly will see. And this is another test for the Mocs defense. They've given up 2 real easy scores to the Georgia Southern offense, and now they have a chance to pin them in the hole, and we'll see if they are able to rise to the challenge here.
Coach Allison on the sideline, and now we see Foster with Austin behind him. Austin lined up between the E and the A in the end zone, and this one just a Foster keeper to get a little breathing room out close to the 5, landing at the 4-yard line.
How would you like to be the guy calling the plays on the 1-yard line?
You've done it.
And I did just what Foster did, sneak it up the middle just to give me some breathing room.
For those who don't know, and shame on you, Tracy Ham, I did a little research on you, Tracy. Your name is just littering the Georgia Southern record book to this day. You're celebrating the 20-year anniversary of that first national championship, and career records all over the place. Another smasher up the gut there. That'll actually will be close to the first down for Austin.
Well, Vincent St. Preux is having a tough time tonight because he doesn't know whether to sit in there for the fullback or get on the perimeter for the quarterback. So it's going to be a tough night if he's not able to get some help from his defensive line.
You see number 83, Richard Murphy, checking into the game. And there's Austin, big number 6, lining back there. Foster will keep, and the pitch. To the right side, one good move gets him past the 20. Number 31, Lennon Jefferson. What a run past right to the 40-yard line. They call it a 39.
The play was made by Foster. They brought a blitz on. They brought a blitz on Foster. He was able to handle it without panic. He got a good pitch off, and he gave his opportunity. He gave his A-back an opportunity to run the ball.
It takes a lot of guts to hold on to it as long as he did. There's the end of the play. They're just chasing him down at that point.
A lot of poise by your quarterback in that situation there.
There you see the pitch. Foster's going to throw, and he's looking for Jefferson. Oh, my. Decapitated at the 35.
They had the game virtually under control. It's a good idea to throw the ball to keep him balanced. I thought that was a good idea. I was wondering when he was going to try to sneak the pass in there to catch a quick score, but actually the Mocs did a good job.
What a pop at the end of the play there. Made sure that ball wasn't coming down into Jefferson's hands. So that sets up a 2nd and 10, 39-yard line of Georgia Southern. Foster up under center. Hands it right up the gut to Austin. First contact doesn't bring him down. Second does. He gets out to about the 43.
One of the few times where you've seen his legs get wrapped up, where guys initially have been trying to hit him up high, and he's just such a powerful back.
Austin will take a breather. Total yards so far, each side has been gaining ground, but Georgia Southern obviously the upper hand, 184 to 101.
It's certainly an up and down the field game.
And you got to remember, folks, those numbers are still just first quarter numbers.
First quarter, yeah. Seems like we've been in for a half already with the amount of offense that's been put out on the field.
They're up and down, and it's 13-3 Georgia Southern. Third down play here. Foster rolls left, now pulls up, and he is swarmed. Not fooled. In on the tackle there, number 52, Corey Stukes.
When you look at that play, you think just a bad play. Mox did a better job defensively than we did offensively, but I like the fact that Foster was able to just tuck the ball, take the sack, and not make a bad play even badder.
Yeah, he brings that ball up, and it's probably a fumble.
It's a fumble with nothing but UT Mox players around the ball.
So that's going to force a punt for Georgia Southern. Their first punt of the night. On the 4th and 14. Kick is away. A little wobbler tailing to the Georgia Southern left. And a good roll, though, will get it down close to the 20-yard line.
You imagine Georgia Southern probably have a hard time recruiting punters at times.
Well, you're going to get a chance a couple times a game.
And some nights you may not even get the punt.
Well, 13-3 is our score. 1 minute and 21 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. We're having fun here at Paulson Stadium in Statesboro.
Very good job by the UT Mox defense. I thought they had an opportunity to, pin them back. They ended up getting the ball on their 20-yard line, which is not bad. You wanted better field position, but did their job there.
Miller, the quarterback, 5 of 7 tonight for 64 yards. He will hand the ball off to the right side. Scrum of players over there as they bring down Buckley for a gain of a few.
They've been doing a good job thus far containing Buckley. You kind of wonder what was Memphis playing on defense last week for him to have 100-plus yards at halftime. And you can see the coaches might have got into them pretty good because they end up containing them in the second half.
Buckley's going to come off for this one. It sets up a 2nd and 6. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Mox trailing by 10 and glad to not have to answer another score after that last drive. A good defensive stand for them. This will push to 3rd and short as the pile goes all the way to the 30.
You can see that UT Mox will have, in the event that Georgia Southern get another quick score, because it seemed like it would take them out their game plan of wanting to run the football. They seem like they've committed to running the football.
Well, the play clock and the game clock are almost synced, so they're probably going to well, they might actually, if they wanted to sit on it, they could probably get away with it without a delay of game, but at the very most, they're going to get one play off here. And they'll do it. 3rd and 1. Miller to Davis, who's pushing. He's close. It's going to, as they say, depend on the spot. But doesn't it always?
Right
really?
foot, left foot spot by the official. Right foot, left foot. Davis has actually been impressive here. He's come in and done a real good job, and he's actually had the better runs tonight.
The officials signal first down. They won't need to measure, and the quarter ends on that play. So everybody can kind of catch their breath for just a second, perhaps. A fast and furious first quarter of play with the Georgia Southern Eagles leading the UTC Mox 13-3. It's a pleasure to be with you on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. We are back at Paulson Stadium, 13-3, favoring the home team, but the Mox have the ball, and they've been impressive moving it tonight. Miller under center. Keeps it himself after the fake to Buckley. Looking right side. The throw is dropped by Hassel, who is upset with himself.
He should be, but he made a great adjustment. It looked like he was going to take it deep, pulled up. Him and the quarterback were on the same page then, so he did a good adjustment, just didn't finish the play. And that happens when you do everything right except catch the football.
Coach Allison is like, right play, right time, right people. What do I got to do?
And I know he loves Hassel because he's been one of the better offensive players on the field tonight.
So on 2nd and 10, the Mox line up in the eye. Miller looking over the defense. Again, Eagles cheating up. Handoff is to Buckley. Cuts back to the right. One man to beat and brought down. Great open field tackle.
you can see why they love Buckley. Just a great cut at the line of scrimmage to break himself free, because they, once again, Georgia Southern blitzed the linebackers, and then for Buckley to be patient enough to find a hole, you can see why they like the young kid.
Number 17, Bynum on the tackle, and he did a fantastic job wrapping up on that one. You talked about wrapping up, Tracy. Let's take a quick look at this.
He starts out left and ends up right, just does a good job, and then you can see a good tackle there at the end of the play.
He's got 20 more yards if that tackle is missed. Miller hands off to Davis, barreling through across midfield. Goodness, like a truck.
Yeah. It's something about having a fresh running back on the field at all times. And you can see Buckley, Davis in and out. Both of them are being equally effective now. And keeping a fresh guy on the field is key to this kind of weather.
They've alternated Buckley and Davis a lot, which allows them not only to refresh themselves, but maybe also get a little coaching on the sidelines and chance to read the defense from the side.
Certainly does. Buckley has 6 carries, 25 yards, and Davis has 6 carries, 37 yards. So they are doing a good job of equally distributing the handoff.
Michael Johnson in motion for the Mocs. Again, the Eagles bringing pressure up the middle. Davis cuts to his left, dragging a tackler with him, pulls to the 40-yard line. Number 23, Tariq Muhammad, said, I got a hold of something, but I don't know what to do with it.
He wrapped up, but he actually got carried with the lows.
You got to admire the running of Lorani Davis tonight. The sophomore out of Macon, he's pushing people, he's dragging people.
And at 6'2", 242, he can carry people with him.
So the Mocs making sure that everyone here knows that they're not done yet tonight.
Certainly, they've been a very good football team on the road.
40-yard line of Georgia Southern, 1st and 10. And this will be a handoff to Buckley, who finds a lot of blue shirts on the right side. Still, before his knees come down, manages to skitter out for another yard.
Buckley seemed like the more of the scat back type, and Davis seemed like just the power back.
It's that thunder and lightning attack that so many teams try to get, but it's hard to get.
Because you got to get 2 players who understand what it means to be a teammate and also be happy with the carries they're getting and okay with coming in and out the ball game.
And again, we see the Mocs have tried their best to keep Georgia Southern off balance on defense. And the Eagles have responded with blitz after blitz after blitz. Shotgun snap. Miller throws right side. Hassel's got it, cutting back into the middle. Ducking and diving around, he will get close to, but short of the first down.
Hassel looks like he's going to take the ball to the end zone every time he touches. And those kind of players are really scary players because they have just the ability to change a game anytime they touch the ball.
Hassel, junior, 5'11", 192-pounder. And he is going to line up wide left on this play. 3rd and 1 at the 31.
Georgia Southern's trying to get a timeout. Got it. You know, the new rule now, the coach can actually call it from the sideline, which looks like we had a personnel issue there as well.
So they'll get a chance to reset. 13-3 is our score. 11:50 remaining in the half. And we're going to step aside during this timeout for just a moment. Again, you're watching Southern Conference football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Georgia Southern in front of UTC. Want to remind you, you can catch a triple header of college football replays Sunday on CSS. At noon, Steve Spurrier and the South Carolina Gamecocks look to return to the win column against Troy, followed at 4 by an SEC showdown between Arkansas and Alabama. And then at 9, the Auburn Tigers take on Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, in their final non-conference matchup of the season for Auburn. Don't miss it on CSS. Well, right here it's Southern Conference football, and Coach Allison knows he's got a big old 3rd and 1 here. This is an important play for his Mocs.
Yeah, certainly it is. Coming out of timeout, you got the play you want. You got your guys understanding the situation. Now it comes down to execution.
He's got him lined in tight. One wide receiver to the right is 84, Powell. Handoff to Davis, smashing into the defense. It's going to be close. I believe he is short.
Right foot, left foot spot.
I don't think it's even going to come to that. I think they're giving him no gain at all on that play.
They got to his legs, couldn't really jump over the pile then they game tackle. That was a good job by Georgia Southern. Coach has a real big decision. Does he go for it or does he try the field goal. Look like he's made his decision already.
This is a no man's land position here. It's a long field goal, but a really lame place to punt.
Yeah,
you know, he's thinking, I don't want to punt this ball away from the 32, but I'm not sure I want to try a 49-yard field goal.
It's a tough decision. He's going to take a timeout to talk about it. But if I'm him, I'm on the road. You know, it's a 13-3 ball game. We're in the second quarter. Punt really doesn't do you any good here because if you punt in the end zone, it's a 10-yard.
Yep.
So got a big old offensive line group. It'd be a good time to go for it.
Of course, you know, does the doubt creep into their mind at all? It's like, God, it's the same yard we couldn't get on the last play.
That's always the theory behind it. I couldn't get that yard a minute ago. What if I changed the play? That made me give me a better opportunity to get it. So it's a big decision. Look like he might have even lost a half of a yard on that one. But if I'm him, I think I'd go for it simply because I'm in the booth watching him. And so it's much easier to call it from up here than it is down there.
Yeah. I mean, Tracy, obviously you were a very successful player, and you're doing a good job here in the booth, but gosh, it does look easier from up here, doesn't it?
It's much easier than sitting up here and coach, go for it, you know. But I think it's a decision that when you're on the road, the history is not on your side here in this part, and you got to do something to change, get your guys to understand that, hey, you can win on the road in Statesboro, so I'm going to put it in your hands.
So Tracy Ham says they've got more to gain than they got to lose on this one, if I'm reading you right.
That's what I said.
Okay. All right. So let's see if this works out. University of Tennessee Chattanooga Mocs in a 4th and 1. Already the crowd getting pumped up in this game. He's going to throw off the fingertips of number 42, Levante Barber. And Coach Allison has got to be on the sideline saying the same thing again. Right play, right time, and what do I got to do?
You certainly had the right play call. You certainly did everything right, and it always comes down to execution, and that'll make you lose number 18 if you don't make those plays in this type of situation.
Here it is once again.
Great job by the quarterback. Great play fake. Thought it was a great play fake. Had Georgia Southern think and run, and just couldn't execute the play.
I thought he was really trying to put good touch on the ball and lay it right in there on the hands. Came to the fingertips of Barber, but not a catch, and it's 1st and 10 the other way. Georgia Southern with the ball and the 10-point lead. Up the gut, it's Austin. A cut back across midfield. He's still going. Are they going to bring him down? Yes, at the 28.
It never fails, Mark. You don't make your play on your end, the offense come back and make a big play. Great job by Jermaine Foster, and the offensive line is doing a great job for Georgia Southern.
Your first thought is, well, he's going to get a few here off the middle, and next thing you know, a move left, a move right, and he's gone.
The move right here with the stiff arm breaking to the right was the key in the play there, and then he just has been physically on the UT defense.
The Mocs had 2 guys who had 2 hands on Austin. They couldn't bring him down. Foster rolling right, keeping himself down inside the 10. Hard run.
Hard run, but a busted play. A busted play there, and that's what he brings to the offense, where that when you make a mistake like that, he got 9 yards. Just a great job. 6 carries for 103 yards for Jermaine Austin, and that's why he's the senior leadership on the team.
He's still breathing heavy down there. He did his main job for this drive.
I'd be breathing heavy, too.
Yeah, I think so.
6 carries for 103 yards.
And so here we go with a 2nd and 1. Georgia Southern at the UTC 9. Foster keeps. He's going to get his first down. He's going to get inside the 5. About the 3, maybe the 2-yard line.
Foster's been a tough tackle for the UT Mocs defense, and he's not a very big kid. He's only 5'9", right at 164, and he may be stretching the weight right there. But he's been a tough tackle. He's coming out the game now.
Foster to the sideline, and Austin started to come in, and he comes back out. So they're going to line up number 9, Darius Smiley, who has seen some action. And Smiley's going to keep, and he's not going to get anything on that one.
Looked like Foster may have gotten a nail or something hurt. He'll learn that once I get a nail, I'm going to stay in there.
Darius Smiley, junior out of Pensacola. Looks to the sideline for a little guidance here. They're going to send him number 85, Teddy Kraft.
Just looking down on the sideline, looked like Foster may have hit his funny bone. You know that little bone you hit and your arm just may go numb for a couple
plays.
He
was holding it like it was tingling or stinging him a little bit. And Smiley going to keep and walk it in. Boy, he saw that whole. Great vision for Smiley.
Just a nice job by the offensive line. They really control the defensive line of the UT Mocs, and he did a good job. You can tell he's had some snaps. He didn't look nervous at all. He looked like he was comfortable with everything that was going on.
Congratulated at the sideline. Darius Smiley with a good job putting the Eagles up 19-3, pending the point here.
And you'd love to see that. Foster was one of the first guys out there to congratulate him.
Well, it's a team game, and they're showing it today. There's Dudley. He puts it through. 20-3 with 9:12 remaining in the first half. Georgia Southern trying to pull away despite the best efforts of the Mocs. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Folks, welcome back to Paulson Stadium, Statesboro, Georgia. Again, I'm Mark Bryant, Tracy Ham in the booth with me, and we are enjoying a very interesting ball game. Possibly a little closer than the score would indicate. As hard as the Mocs are fighting, though, they are still down 20-3, and Georgia Southern will kick off. Dudley puts the ball deep, and Hassel corrals it, bobbled it briefly and grabbed it. He is in hot pursuit and won't get past the 10.
You can see the energy level of the Georgia Southern football team really rising quickly as they can see that they got a chance to put them away early.
There's that last drive, 5 plays, 69 yards. Took less than 2 minutes. Smiley got the touchdown, but the big play was from Austin.
Certainly. Coaches don't like to hear this, but the game is not, the score is really not an indication of the type of game we've been seeing here. One play here on defense and another one on offense by Georgia Southern completely changed the game while the Mocs were on the drive.
The Mocs have had the ball almost twice as long in this game as Georgia Southern, and they're behind by 17 points. Miller sends Johnson in motion. He's going to hand the ball back to his deep back, and a big pile up there as the again, the Mocs have had good play selection. They've had good plays, and their players have been mostly doing their job.
Yep.
But that last drive, they managed to overcome one key drop, but the second one clearly the killer. If you're Coach Allison, or even if you're Antonio Miller right now, what is your mindset? What are you thinking right now going into this drive right here?
Well, they had been doing a good job of keeping the ball out of Georgia Southern offensive hands.
They need to keep doing that. Second down, 8 yards to go. Miller looking to throw downfield. Does he get it in there? Nope. Hops in.
And if I'm Coach Allison, to finish the thought, Mark, I will continue to keep the ball on the ground because you got to keep the clock moving, because I think the more possession Georgia Southern get, the better they're going to get tonight. You can see they're on their game tonight, and if he continues to give them the ball, then it's going to get ugly quick.
And, of course, kudos on the other sideline, because Georgia Southern taking advantage of everything they're getting and hitting their A game plan from the opening to every single play. They've given up a couple big plays on defense, but it hasn't hurt them.
Has not hurt them.
Miller looking to throw again and going deep left side. Too far. Is it picked off? Nope. Comes through and hits the ground.
Great catch. What a great catch.
Oh, he got
it. What a
yes.
great catch by Hassel.
Wow.
Once again, Hassel proved to be the difference for the Mocs offense. I thought it was a good call. He caught the ball and he hit the ground. Hassel may be banged up a little as you see him on the sideline holding the shoulder.
He doesn't look in good shape. Hassel fighting for it with number 2, Lewis Barr. And, yep, ball comes out on the ground.
On the ground, so ground.
I thought for a second Barr was going to steal it, too. He had his hands right up at the ball. But Hassel, who's been the go-to guy, makes the play. Big play for the Mocs. But Hassel comes out. 7 of 12 for Miller. 111 yards in the air. They're going to give it to Davis. Pounded back, but he keeps his feet. Goes left. Oh, my goodness. What a run for LaRonnie Davis. Is he going to score? Touchdown, UTC.
Wow, what a great play by Davis. Keeping his balance. He's a big kid, a big, strong kid. And that goes back to Georgia Southern not wrapping up.
And you know what? When they made first contact with him, it looked like they rocked him, and the whole crowd went, ooh. Well, guess what? Davis. Wow, another tremendous play.
And you can see the Mock have really good, they have players who can make plays for them. The coaches have done a good job of putting them in position to make plays. They've made some, they haven't. This drive, they made it.
UTC trying to cut it back to 10. Esteban Lopez waiting for the snap. Hold is good. Kick is up and through. So our game now 20 to 10. Second quarter of play, 7:47 to go in the half. Very impressive.
Just a good job by Coach Allison, staying on his game plan, not abandoning the run and trying to throw the ball every down, because he's not out of the game by no stretch of the imagination. He stayed with his game plan. He's committed to running the football.
So one more time, let's look at Lorani Davis and tell me what you see, Tracy.
Morin has done a good job wrapping up tonight. He comes in and hit him, slides off, never really gets his hands around him. And Lorani Davis does a good job of keeping his balance, taking it the distance. You can see he just basically ran through the tackle.
And I want to give it up for Miller. Watch Miller block number 36, Joe Turner. No, no one's getting him. No one's getting my guy.
No one's getting my guy. And Miller understands the importance of scoring in that situation, and so he sold himself out for the team.
And Mooring did something on that play that I think that's sort of a, you see it in the NFL a lot. You see guys try to drive through guys instead of just get them down. 4 plays, 88 yards. Of course, most of that Davis on the ground.
That's a Georgia Southern-like drive there, because UT's been very patient with the offense. But that's what happened when you miss tackles. You don't wrap up. You give the other team the opportunity to score very quickly.
Well, that was the Mock's chance to say anything you can do, I can do better. And 20 to 10 is our score now.
How would you like to be a punter tonight? Get the night off for just a little while.
You get to stretch your legs every so often, but not a lot. Not a lot. Here comes the kick now. And see if Georgia Southern has another answer. Again, kicking into the end zone and not coming out.
That's one of the great weapons in college football, to be able to kick that ball through the zone, not allowing them to get a return back. That's a great weapon, because you never know what happens when that return guy gets the ball.
Lorani Davis, with that last run, pushed his totals to 9 carries, 89 yards, and a touchdown. I'd say that's effective.
That's very effective.
Nearly 10 yards a carry and a score.
We'll have to watch and see if they think Lorani Davis is hot and leave him in there more so than Eldred Buckley.
Buckley does have 30 yards for the Mocs, but nothing like what we've seen out of Davis tonight. Foster keeps the ball for Georgia Southern, gets through the first wave, and goes all the way to the 35.
They're running a lot of counter action, because Mock's defense have been really aggressive. That just was a simple counter play where they start out one way and come back the other way and keep the ball in one of their better 2 players' hands, and that's Foster.
Mike Sewak, the last year's coach of the year, and of course this year, that 1-2 start got a lot of people a little uncomfortable. There's not a lot of patience in Statesboro.
Not in Statesboro. Very spoiled community about their football.
But they have to like what they see tonight. Foster again is going to keep it. He's not going to get away from first contact this time.
The Mocs have to do a better job of wrapping up as well, because you've seen Jermaine Austin, and Jason Foster. Get them Austin Foster, the 2 guys who carry the ball. You get them all mixed up. But you can see that they did a good job that series, but they hadn't been doing a very good job of wrapping the ball carry up as well tonight.
Austin's going to come to the sideline. Of course, Foster has, he's really been working tonight on the passing game. He has all of 1 attempt. So, and it's going to stay that way on this play. Pounding in for a first down. The Eagles on the march one more time.
Georgia Southern is doing a good job of controlling the defensive line for UT Mocs. They really hadn't been able to sustain any kind of penetration or a push. They've always played on their side of the ball, and Georgia Southern has done a very good job of keeping the play on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
A little personnel shift for the Eagles as Austin comes in along with Teddy Kraft and Reggie McCutcheon. Foster calls the signals. 5 up on the line and more cheating in for the Mocs. Foster pitches left side. Austin First tackle does not bring him down, but help is on the way. And Austin gets down to about the 43 of the Mocs.
Austin has been a tough tackle tonight for the UT Mocs, and he's not very big in stature-wise. You know, his size is only 5'9", but when you get to the weight, you know, he carries a little more, and it's one of them things where he's very compact, very physical runner.
He carries his weight a little heavier, if you will. I mean, he brings it like a hammer.
Yes. And that's all football leverage. His pads is lower than everybody else's pads, and they're having a tough time tackling him tonight.
So with 5.5 minutes left in the half, Foster will roll right, duck the first tackle. He's keeping it himself, gets in for the first down.
Some things you can't coach, and that was one of them. And everybody's saying that tonight was Foster has to answer the questions. I think he's answering the questions, and I think we just got to be able to live with the mistakes that comes along with being a young quarterback.
There's the rushing yards tonight, and wow, there's the 285 in the first half for Georgia. And this first half's not over yet.
Are there any more room for throws in there? 285 on the ground in the first half, 5 minutes left to go in the game, in the half.
Well, you don't really need to balance it out if it works, and it's certainly working tonight. You saw on the other hand, though, the Mocs, who used to be a very pass-heavy team, they are pretty balanced tonight.
Pretty balanced.
With 111 in the air and 125 or so on the ground. Whistles blowing in this one. This play never got off. We'll get the word from the officials here. I think he's looking for a number now. False start on number 92, Brian Kranz.
Do you like that rule where they call the player's number out in college, where they used to just say offside on?
I do. I think the coaches have to as well. They don't have to beg the officials anymore. Who was it? Was it 50? Was it 40?
Mom and Dad may not like it, but the coaches like it.
Well, you know, a little accountability is sometimes a good thing.
It certainly is.
Because you don't want your number called out on that. Power running up the middle and breaking through. Good running, Brandon Andrews, fullback, senior out of Swainsboro.
Brandon Andrews is a quality backup. You know, and you hate to call a kid a backup, but he essentially is a backup to Jermaine Austin. But he's shown that he has a burst that would certainly warrant sometime. He probably wants to play more as a backup. But when you got Jermaine Austin,
there's a lot of talent out here.
A lot of talent. That's
Foster up the middle and still going.
Jermaine just has a knack for getting through that wave and then just hard, tough running, and it's just amazing that he can be able to do that. But his pad level is so low that guys have a tough time. Watch his pad level here. He got a low pad level. When he hits somebody, he's underneath their pad right there. You see his pad lower than the other defender pad? That's why they're having a tough time tackling him.
Austin like a bullet up the middle there, just blasting through whatever's in his path. Foster surveys the defense, sends man in motion, and is going to try and punch it up the gut one more time. Not quite as effective on this play.
I think we got to watch how UT continue to react to the weather down here. It's cooled off somewhat, but you can see the guys are really, they've been on the field not a long time, but it's just been a lot of physical contact, and early in the game as well, relatively humid. Or was that just our box up here that was humid?
I think it's everywhere, but maybe particularly our box. I'm not sure. And so, 2nd and 9 for Georgia Southern. At the 20-yard line of the Mocs. Foster tries to dance his way through. Flattened to the ground by number 52, Corey Stooks.
Georgia Southern's done a really good job of keeping their linebackers at bay. We hadn't called their old Vincent St. Preux out much at all tonight.
Coach Seawalk and the Georgia Southern sideline looking in for this 3rd down play. 3rd and 5 from the 17. A little over 2.5 minutes to go in the half. Foster's going to keep it. Nope, pitch. Jefferson, no, I'm sorry, Andrews with the ball. And he powers down to the 5.
You got to be concerned if you're the UT Mocs coaching staff. You got to be concerned because they've done little or anything to stop the run. Georgia Southern is basically controlling the line of scrimmage, and they're moving the ball up and down the field. Offensively, they're not doing a bad job, but they got to have some concern. Coach Allison got to have some concern about where they are defensively because they have not been able to stop.
6 different Eagles have carried the ball. 2 of them are over 100 yards already tonight. And we've got multiple men in motion and just kind of a mess on that play. And
now that reminded me of a Canadian football play we used to run where everybody's in motion and you go, okay, it's not a penalty, but that's allowed in Canada. So I think some of the guys might have been thinking of the other league.
And, of course, in arena football, you can send a motion man running right at the line of scrimmage so he gets a head start. But this is Southern Conference football, and none of that applies. And so they're going to back him up to the 10, and it's 1st and goal from the 10 rather than the 5. And so there's Jason Foster, 11 rushes, 114 yards, so he's averaging more than 10 a carry. Up the gut to Andrews. Apparently it is his turn tonight because he's getting several carries on this drive.
Yeah, I think you have to do a good job of spelling. I think Jermaine basically have the goal of when he can come in and out of the game. Well, if I'm coaching Jermaine Austin, you can come in and out whenever you like. Just be fresh.
Hey, how about Foster? How many games this season? 4. How many 100-yard games this season?
4.
I'd say that's pretty efficient.
I think he's doing a good job of really understanding his role.
We can consider some of those questions about Foster answered. I do believe he's going to try and get it down to the goal line. He's in close, inside the 1.
What a great job by Foster, just being patient with what's going on up front. He didn't try to make something out of nothing. He just basically took what the defense gave him at that time. So I think he's doing a really good job. Like I said, I think he's answering some of the questions. This is not Furman or App State, but I think he has to get comfortable in these games in order to be ready for those games.
Georgia Southern going to try and punch one in before we hit the half here and go into the locker room strong. Force the entire line into the end zone. Everybody
went into the end zone that time. I thought, once again, the offensive line has been controlling their defensive line, and that has been the difference in the ball game.
That makes it 26-10, pending the point. 45 seconds left in the half, and I'm not kidding when I say that was a team touchdown. The entire offensive line pushed them back into the end zone. They could have given the ball to anybody on that play.
You think you could have scored off of that one?
There's a fair chance I could have broken the plane.
Okay, we're going to suit you up after that. Then I would be up here by myself, so we're going to hold that thought.
So we're looking for the extra point. Number 87, Jonathan Dudley. They probably would have given me a season-ending injury as I broke the plane, but I think it would have been possible. And kick is up and away. It is good. 27-10. 45 seconds left in the opening half. Georgia Southern in control of the moment. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, and the fans have been going wild, and some are just wild fans, as you see. We're going, there's our very own Leslie Spoon. We're going to hear from her at halftime. She's going to have some special features for us so we learn a little bit more about Georgia Southern and some of the things going on here. So stay tuned for halftime, and they're getting her all set up down there. But wow, 27-10. And you know how we talked about the time of possession before and what an advantage the Mocs had? That drive was so strong, they're even in time of possession now. In fact, the Eagles have a slight edge.
Just like that.
The Mocs do not have much time. They're going to try and fool them. A little deception off the cluster, and Hassel comes away with the ball. Gets across the 20.
Did you think Hassel was going to give it to anybody else?
And a flag sails onto the field. I'm curious to see what our discussion is here.
I've seen that play several times. I've never seen it work. And if I'm Georgia Southern kickoff team, I'm going, okay, where is number 80? Where is number 80? If that's number 80.
Our referee is Ed Rhodes, and he'll have the call. 37.2 seconds left in the period. Oh, little extracurricular, a little personal foul. is not the right way to start what you would hope, if you're a mock, would hope would have been a fast strike drive. Instead, is going to be all the way back down in the hole.
And it's been a relatively penalty-free game. It's only been 3 penalties for 18 for UT Mocs and 3 for 15 for Georgia Southern. So it's been a well-played game, and that's one of the things that plagued Georgia Southern in the previous games was penalties and turnovers, and they've been able to avoid both of those obstacles tonight.
So now the Mocs, down 17, are backed to their own 10-yard line. I would guess that they'd probably play fairly conservative and try not to set up anything easy for Georgia Southern. They will go to Davis on the ground. Davis, who is leaping, hurdling, and running forward. Now they could get a little aggressive because now they got room.
Certainly, I can see why Davis wants to start it, because he's certainly shown the ability to do a lot of good things with the football, and they've gone to him almost exclusively as you see him limp. You know, I don't know where that limp came from after a good run like that, but he's shown to be a guy that can carry the load for him.
Maybe he landed bad off that jump. That's one of your patented moves, isn't it? Just jumping over a guy like that?
Jump over a guy, right. Where I land, nobody knows.
Shotgun snap. And Miller bumps it right across the middle, almost pegs the umpire in the head.
And if I'm UT, I'm still very careful here because you're still on your end of the field. You only got one timeout left, and so I'd be very careful with what I did with the ball on this end of the field.
Georgia Southern happy to give him the middle of the field. Miller's going to have to spike the ball. A lot of time came off the clock by completing that short pass in the middle, not for a first down. So he goes all the way to 13 seconds.
And that's how big the penalty was. If they don't have that penalty on the kickoff, with that run that'll put them cross midfield, then they could have been even more aggressive with one timeout. Now, so kids have to understand what penalties and how they affect the ball game.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like the Mocs are going to try and do something big here with 4 wides. Lorani Davis, 10 rushes, 109 yards. There's a lot of guys out here averaging more than 10 yards a carry. It's kind of spooky. Miller throws it to the sideline. He finds his man, Michael Johnson. The clock will stop for the first down, but
they still have
only
a timeout.
6.5 seconds.
They still have a timeout left, so either they got to choose to take it here, throw to the sideline, try to get a field goal. I would take it here. But I'm in the box.
It looks like they're going to spike it. And that's what they do. So they retain the timeout. It's all the way down to 3.9, though.
That was the quickest 3.9 seconds, 3 seconds I've seen in a while. So what do? See, I take the timeout, then you still got in the playoff, throw the ball to the sideline. So now you only have one play. We only have one play. You got to heave it to the end zone, do the old famous Hail Mary.
Deep ball to Hassel, perhaps, on this one. Unless you think Lorani Davis has got another more magic in those shoes.
See, now they use the timeout, so I don't know if that was really good clock management there. Had a chance to save some time, use your timeout, come up with a good play to try to get you in field goal range. So wasted some time there. Will it be critical to the outcome of the game? Don't know.
A little clumsy on the for the Mocs, but they're still alive with 3.9 seconds. They're going to have to just put one up, see what they can get out of it. 27-10 is our score here. Mark Bryant and Tracy Ham in the booth. Leslie Spoon on the field will bring you halftime. Georgia Southern Eagles, of course, coaching up here on this play. How not to let the big play happen is the focus of today's discussion if you're Georgia Southern.
Now, which unit do you use, the one on the left or the one on the right?
Yeah, there's multiple huddles for the Eagles, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, they'll take a little from each.
Yeah, it looks that way.
Now you got to be, if you coach Allison, you got to be concerned with your defensive ball club. You've done a good job in the first 3 ball games. Well, in the first 2, Memphis did what they, D1, 1AA kind of had their hand with them. But you got to be concerned your first conference game, and you allow this kind of production in the first half.
So what would likely be the last play of the first half. Miller rolling right. Checks his back to make sure no one's on him. Ball to the end zone. Is it caught? No. Oh my goodness.
Had a great opportunity there.
A great throw. Just your basic post. Just send him up the middle. And
wouldn't that have been ironic? His first touchdown pass would have been the last play of the half. But not to be so today.
Incomplete. So each side will go to their respective locker rooms. 27-10, Georgia Southern. And in a couple quick words, Tracy, how would you sum up what we've seen here in the first half?
Well, Georgia Southern back to their dominant offensive production on the ground. UT Mocs, the history proved to be on Georgia Southern side and not on their side. Got to be concerned if I'm UT defensive side of the ball.
27-10 is our score. Georgia Southern on top of Chattanooga. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports. The third quarter of play about to begin. Georgia Southern on top 27-10 over the Chattanooga Mocs. Southern Conference football here on CSS. My name is Mark Bryant. Proud to be with you this evening. With me in the booth, Tracy Ham. And the third quarter has begun with a kick into the end zone and a touchback to start things out for UTC. And there's Coach Mike Sewak. And he's probably just saying more of the same, guys. More of the same, please.
More of the same. I think what he wants to do is establish the tempo. Look at them this season. They've only scored 7 points in the third quarter. So I think that's a concern to have. How do they come out of halftime?
They're on pace for a score roughly like last year's score in Chattanooga, a 51-17 Georgia Southern win.
And you got to know that's disappointing to the coaching staff for the UT Mocs, because I think and they look like they were on course to make it a different type of ball game.
And they still fight hard in spots, and they still run hard, as we see there. Ball back to LaRonnie Davis, who had a tremendous first half.
You can see LaRonnie Davis, they're very comfortable with either one of the backs. I think they might try to find out who's going to be hot this night, and it's proven to be LaRonnie Davis instead of Buckley.
Davis doing a little shoe adjustment there. And it will be 2nd and 8.
You can adjust your shoe if you got 112 yards at halftime.
Otherwise, they're just yelling for you to get off the field. Here we go with the 2nd and 8 play. Blitz being shown and the ball given to Davis, and again, first contact doesn't work, second contact doesn't work. A hard fought 2 yards.
Yeah, and he's been a tough tackle for us tonight. Georgia Southern has had a tough time hanging on to LaRonnie Davis tonight.
And you know, no touchdown passes this season. It's a team that's traditionally had a lot in the air. I mean, this is Terrell Owens.
And you can see they've committed to the run, and that's the difference in them now and then in the past.
Miller rolls left, throws left, good for a first down. Nice tightrope walking on the sideline, number 16, Tyrus Ward.
And you know, Mark, to go back to that point with them passing the ball, it's hard to believe because the quarterback has played well. He was 9 out of 15 for 136 yards. So you got to try to figure out why they're not putting the ball in the zone. I think it's simply because they're not stretching the field vertically. In order to get those, when they did stretch it vertically, you see where the big play was made by Hassel.
Miller, first down play. Play action, now rolling right, looking deep, looking for number 17, Michael Gilmore, off his hands. He spun around, turned one shoulder and another, looking for that ball.
But they had an opportunity to stretch the field vertically at that particular time, and with a better throw, it would have been a big play for them.
Miller looked like he's stretching his hammies back there. Now he looks over to the sideline for the play call.
And Miller's been very efficient for them tonight. He's been very good with the football. He hadn't turned the ball over. He's made plays that he had to make. I would just like to see him continue to press the ball down the field more.
Well, this looks like a passing down with 3 wides and a shotgun. And Miller will roll to his right, pop off the throw, but a little too much, too far outside for Hassel to bring in.
And I think they expect Hassel to make those type of plays. It was a high ball, but with the game in hand as it is, you got to make those plays and stay out of third down and long situation. Yeah, he's been their workhorse, so he may be a little gassy, but he just come off a halftime, so you would think he's been able to replenish himself and get ready to play the third quarter.
Hassel to the side and a 3rd down and 10. Coach Allison watching his troops, and he does not want to do a quick on and off the field here to open the third quarter. It's the wrong message to send. Georgia Southern showing blitz again. Miller's throw, well high and outside. He was looking for Gilmore, but not going to happen.
I think for the first time tonight, the blitz actually affected him because it came in his face. It didn't get to him, but it came towards where he was looking right at the blitz, and it caused him to throw high. So that was one of the few times Georgia Southern has blitz and really threw off Miller at the quarterback.
So the Mocs do not take advantage of the opening possession of the third quarter. They're going to give it right back to the Eagles. Low snap, but the punt is away, and it's a good one. Going to find Kraft at the 20-yard line. Gets past the first few tacklers, curving back in past the 40. Teddy Kraft, a good run there.
I think if Georgia Southern going to be successful, not only tonight, but in the future, they have to get Teddy Kraft the ball in some capacity.
And as we look at Teddy Kraft, we're going to step aside for just a moment. 27-10, Georgia Southern is our score on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Four real guys talk real sports on Sports Night, weekdays at 6 and 11, only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. And we're looking at Southern Conference football here in Statesboro, Georgia, and Georgia Southern with the ball one more time. And you know what? In the last four meetings, they've outscored Chattanooga 193-37, and it's starting to look like another one in that pattern right now, unless the Mocs can rise up.
And you got to try to figure out why. And what it looked like is that if you look at the last meeting, the fullback has been established, and they have not been able to contain the fullback. And when you allow somebody to run right down the middle, the gut of your defense, it's going to be a long night.
Jefferson on the field along with Austin. Jefferson would be the next candidate. Austin and Foster each have over 100 yards. Jefferson had 49 in the first half. Why not go for 3 the way they're running the ball? They're going to get the ball out to the left side on the pitch. And Mocs claiming they have the ball. No go on that one. Runner is down.
Mark, that was one of the first time we've seen the pure triple option. And I don't know if people understand what I mean by that. The first option is the fullback where he reads it. He's taken by the defensive end. Next guy linebacker takes the quarterback, and he pitches. That's the true triple option. Everything else is the double option. When you see the pitch like that.
One more look. Let's watch that ball. He might have been just an inch above the ground on that one, Tracy. Foster's going to keep and go to the right side.
I think that might have been a fumble.
Well, no, actually it's not, because they've run another play.
We didn't get instant replay in time.
No replays, no revisions, no discussion.
They didn't ask us either.
No. And a good thing for Georgia Southern perhaps on that play.
Well, if you're Jason Foster, you're going to be really sore tomorrow. You just got to get in the cold tub, work it off, because he's been running really, you can see he wanted to come out and make a statement tonight. He's been running really tough. He's done a great job carrying the ball tonight, and you can see that he had a mission. 14 carries, 126 at this point in the stage in the game.
And that was Marquise Maynard on that last carry. This time Foster's not going to get a chance to pitch it. That's Stukes, and we've called his number a few times tonight. He's not going to take this game lying down. He's going to fight.
And that's one of the few times we've seen penetration by the UT Mocs defense, and the way you stop the option is you get penetration.
Corey Stukes, number 52, is a senior out of Wilmington, North Carolina, trying to get the defensive call and set up the Mocs for this play from the Eagles. And could it be a pass? It looked like he was going to throw, but Foster pulls it down, and it's pulled down by Stukes and others, and a flag comes down. Did they get the face mask?
Looked like they got the face. Stukes made a great play, got his hand a little too high, or on Jason's case, he might have got his hand a little too low because he's only 5'9", and pulled the face mask.
And that's what it is. And preliminary indication would be it's a 5-yard face mask. If I read the call and the body language of Ed Rhodes, let's hear the call. And he's still trying to get it straightened out. 27-10 favoring the Eagles. 10:46 left in the third quarter. CSS bringing you Southern Conference football. It's the Southern Conference opener for the Mocs. There's a look at Corey Stukes.
I just think this is a big series. I think the first drive for each ball club is always a very important drive, as you want to establish that you went in, made the adjustments. So this is a big series for their defense. They had to stop. You can see they made some adjustments, had to stop. Now with a penalty, just mistakes, and that's what costs you ball games, mistakes.
Brandon Andrews came in, Austin came out. And surging up the middle, the Eagles will push it out for another first down.
Georgia Southern look like they feel like they can just be more physical than them. When you sneak it like that and the push is that great, that means your pad levels is lower than their pad level, and essentially they're just pushing you off the ball.
And the later it goes and the more they do that, the more they're going to just grind the clock down and tack on those scores, and the Mocs are going to see this one slip away. They do need to get back to that to those big plays that were working for them earlier. Foster keeps the ball. He's going to get wrangled down by number 27 linebacker Chris Johnson.
And they got to do more of that gang tackling. You can see where 2 or 3 guys, almost maybe four guys hit him then. I'm sure it don't take that many guys to take Foster down, but everybody wanted a piece of him then.
So 2nd and 11, a rare lost yardage play for Georgia Southern. It really has been a night where just about everybody on both sides, the plays have been positive yardage. And
positive yardage, big plays after big play after big play.
Foster will keep it himself, and again, like you said, gang tackle. Three men there to bring him down.
When you look at that play, Foster that was a great. In this offense, quarterback is key to his decision-making process is really good. Everything would have indicated that he pitched the ball, but when he looked out there, he saw the linebacker standing out on the pitch, and sometimes you just have to eat the ball in this offense.
Well, if you see too much yellow around you, a pitch is a disaster.
General indication.
It's a 3rd straight game away from Chattanooga for the Mocs, and sooner or later that can have a toll on you as well. Hot night, 3rd straight week on the road, team that's beaten you a lot. This throw is complete, a complete pass from Foster.
I just think Teddy Kraft is the key. Even though that wasn't him, I think the passing game, when you start throwing the football, you got to think Kraft and the receivers, and you got to get them the ball. Might have surprised everybody with them throwing the ball there.
Yeah, that was McCutcheon, number 86, and that makes Foster 1 out of 2. He is 50% tonight.
Well, would love to have that percentage.
But 14 yards in the air now. That's the first passing gain tonight. Pitch and run to the left side, and nothing doing there as we see Marquise Maynard swarmed under.
You can see Jason had great command on that throw there. A good call by the offensive staff. Great command. You would like to see him throw more when it's not a throwing down to loosen up the defense more.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. At the 20-yard line of the Mocs. See Brandon Andrews lined up behind Jason Foster. The blue and white of the Eagles. The navy and old gold of the Mocs. Throw to the end zone is too high, and they're going to throw a flag, presumably for interference right there at the goal line.
He had Jefferson wide open down the sideline. The same pass play they ran early in the first quarter, where the guy almost got his head taken off.
Right.
Come back, throw it in there. You just got to waved off the flag.
And that's a referee overruled the call, saying it was uncatchable, that the ball was too high. And I think in this case, that may be a good overrule, because the way I saw it, the receiver actually held up to reach up for the ball, and the defender bumps into him. It was sort of an incidental
good officiating
contact
there. You always like to see good officiating. Somebody step in and say, hey, it wasn't catchable.
Foster with Jefferson to his side. The pitch to the Jefferson, and he'll get it to 10-yard line and right at the marker. We'll see what they have to say about this one. Lennon Jefferson, a good carry there.
Looked like he stepped out about a yard.
Oh, yeah, that's immediately 4th down because he stepped out short. The crowd is already calling for them to go.
Decision time.
Here it comes. You see Foster, and he's going to give a good pitch back, and there's our man Jefferson.
If I'm in this situation, I've controlled the line of scrimmage all day. Since I'm in the booth, I would go for it. But if I'm on the sideline, I'm probably kicking the field goal here because points are premium.
Well, they're going to go. They figure if they miss it, they've got the Mocs in a hole anyway. Foster gives it to Andrews. Pounds it in. 1st down.
Great call from the box.
Absolutely. Gold star for Tracy Ham.
They've controlled the line of scrimmage all night. You saw it on the 4th down, or you saw it on the 3rd down and quarterback sneak. You saw it on the goal line. They've essentially controlled the defensive front. The O-line has done a great job controlling the line of scrimmage tonight.
Discontented body language there from Coach Allison. He can't like the way things have been playing out here. The second half, about as bad a start as he could want here, or not want rather. Foster keeps and finds pretty much the entire Mocs defense on the right side.
That didn't surprise anybody there because when you look at that set there, they have the big guys up front, and either you're going to hand it off or he's going to keep it. And they were waiting on it.
So there's Coach Seawalk and the Georgia Southern team. Things going well right now for them in the 3rd quarter. The 3rd quarter, this is how it's played out. The Mocs got the opening kickoff, couldn't really do much with it. Georgia Southern, time-consuming drive, and inside the 10, already with a 17-point lead and trying to expand it. That's really just optimum play from the Eagles.
It's Georgia Southern's style of football. You know, that's why it's so important that they get ahead.
Foster will keep going left. Goes skittering around the first contact, and really just Jeffrey Harrison will probably get credit with that tackle, number 13 for the Mocs, but Foster was only an inch off the ground the whole time trying to keep his knees up.
You're right. A little hurry-up offense for Georgia Southern. See if we can catch UT defense off.
3rd and goal. Foster keeps and hit at the goal line. Close. Score. Touchdown. Oh, you only have to get the tip of the ball onto the white line. And I broke the plane on that one, but, man, he was met right there.
And he's gotten hit fairly hard tonight, but he bounces right up, showing that he's real tough, and that's what he has to be, carrying the ball that much.
And that makes it 33-10. One more time. There you see. Kind of slipped off the right side of the screen there, but you saw Foster right at the goal line. And as he comes down, certainly he comes across the line. So Dudley's going to put up the kick. And it is good. 34-10.
What a good sign for Georgia Southern. They've been able to sustain the drive after halftime, which is a good sign for your ball club.
It's the 3rd quarter, 34-10 Georgia Southern. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Third quarter of play in Statesboro, Georgia. Fans are enjoying this one for sure. 34-10, Georgia Southern out in front. And if the Mocs are going to do anything, they better do it fast. Dudley's kick is up and away. Caught inside the 10 by Hassel. Dragged down quickly at about the 16-17-yard line.
Hassel's been getting a really good workout tonight. He'll be sore tomorrow. And
this is what, and it deserves a big old wow for the Eagles. 15 plays.
15 plays.
58 yards and 7 minutes off the clock.
And that's what you want to see coming out of halftime, that you made, well, they didn't have to make adjustments, but that you came out ready to play.
They took command.
They took command of the game, and you would have wanted to see the UT Mocs defense make some adjustments, but when they made the play, they got a penalty, so they put them in a very tough situation. Now you'll see if they change their game plan and start throwing the ball.
1st and 10, ball positioned on the 18, and Antonio Miller, quarterback number 12. Well, he's not going to get this play off. I believe that the clock had expired on him. And on a change of possession or coming off a timeout, there really isn't an easy excuse for that.
And especially when you come off the sideline onto the line of scrimmage.
That play should be good to go.
That play should be good to go. We'll see if they can get this one off in a timely manner.
Well, they've got 16 more seconds to do so, and Miller calling for the ball from the shotgun. He'll throw into the middle to Hassel, who's got space to work with. He's missed tackle on that and across the 30. What a move to the 40.
You just got to find ways to get him the ball. I mean, I know you love the running game, but you see he's a game-changing type player.
Hassel left a ghost in midfield when he just jumped to the side. They were tackling vapors out there.
This move right here was just a fabulous move.
You see Rico Zachary finish him off at the sideline. You better go out of bounds.
Yeah, you can see why he was pre-season all-conference player.
A good gainer and out to the 40-yard line. Miller now under center. Back split. Miller goes back looking for a throw. He's got to roll to his right now to escape the pocket. Off the hands of his receiver at midfield. He was looking for number 17, Michael Gilmore.
Joyce did a good job getting pressure on the quarterback, not allowing him to set his feet and throw and make him come out of the pocket. Anytime you get a quarterback out of the pocket on the run, you'll see that their passing efficiency normally would go down.
And Miller in this game, 11 of 21, 168 yards in the air. His longest, a 41-yard pass play. Miller looking over the defense. And getting all his players set in the right spot. He is down to 7 seconds on the play clock. And he will get the ball. Decent protection to Hassel, who's trying the same thing again, but this time he's running in a deep hole. Oh, my.
John Murray made a great football play there, and he just took a beeline to the receiver. He saw the little quick screen coming underneath, and he just made a beeline for Hassel.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The Georgia Southern defense said, no, that's not going to work again.
Wow. And they lost 12 yards.
It's 3rd and 22 now. And Hassel, that's one of those cases, I think, where you've got a great athlete who's trying too hard to make a play.
Do you fault him? No, because he'll probably make that play 9 out of 10 times.
3rd and 22 now. The Mocs exactly where they don't want to be in a very long yardage situation when they need to keep getting first downs. Motion. Looked like the tight end on the left side just launched himself a little bit before the snap. John Parkinson, number 45.
Now we're going to let you call this play here.
I don't know if you got a 3rd and 22 in your books. Motion. And so it will be 3rd down and 27.
This is one you look at the coach and go.
And it's same song, different verse. The Mocs have never won here.
And mistakes are the reason why. You can see the mistakes starting to pile up now. Had a chance to make some plays, didn't make them. And that's the difference when you get a team on the road ahead. Georgia Southern at a very fragile state when the game started. But after a couple series, their mindset changed.
Yeah, if Georgia Southern hangs on and pulls out the victory today, as they're in good shape to do right now, not over by any stretch, but they would put each team to 2-2 on the season, which, again, as we said right off the top of the game, very odd in this series that the Mocs are the team coming in with a better record.
Certainly is.
The 3rd and 27 snap. Pressure put on. Miller will roll right and keep it himself, running to the 35, still with the ball to the 40 and out of bounds. Back to the original line of scrimmage there for the 4th and 10 result.
Just great pressure by the Georgia Southern defense. Didn't contain him, but with that distance to go on 3rd down, they knew they would rally to the ball. You can see here the pressure coming up. He has nowhere to go. He tucks in and run, does a good job of getting positive yards back here, but at that distance, it's just too far.
Yeah, a 17-yard run, which, of course, is a quality play by Miller, but the penalties and the lost yardage and just too deep a hole, and they're going to have to punt it away. Ball is off, and Kraft is signaling for a fair catch. He'll take it at the 22. 4.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. 34-10 Georgia Southern. You're watching Southern Conference football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Here in in Statesboro, it's 34-10, but we're looking forward to some more football on CSS later in the week. The North Alabama Lions take on the Central Arkansas Bears in the Gulf South football game of the week, Thursday at 8 only on CSS. The Lions 3-0, ranked number 18 in the AFCA Division II Top 25 poll. Gulf South football is on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. And so the Mocs are ready to go again. And Smiley, the quarterback, the pitch and an end around to Kraft, who's still going to our side, 50-yard line, 40, pulled down at the 30. And a little extra at the end, and I think the crowd helped goose the lineman into that call.
Certainly was, and I just believe that you have to get the ball to Teddy Kraft. He is an excellent football player that's not touching the ball much in this offense.
The official was just marking the umpire was in on that play. He was just marking where the player went out of bounds, and then suddenly the roar went up, and he reached for the flag. Now, he might have been reaching for it anyway. I'm just saying that they kind of helped sell that call a little bit.
It should have been a no call, you know, with the situation as such. Coach is pretty upset on the sideline, and I would be too, because what it's saying is they're losing their composure.
He gave him a little extra chuck, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't much, but it was enough.
I know.
It was enough.
My coach used to give me a foot.
So here we go. Let's have a look at this. You know, Smiley gets the ball to Kraft, and then, you know, arts and crafts right here. This is good work.
Good patience with his running, letting his blockers, if any of the blockers look back, you got a big play. Bigger play, I should say.
Austin gets the ball into the pile. Short gain. And here's Georgia Southern in the red zone again, knocking on the door one more time.
Do you think Georgia Southern trying to make a statement, bring out a little trickery? They're flowing hard. We do the reverse.
Power running, wide open play like that. It's just it's the other team's job to stop you.
No question about it.
And Foster getting a little break time, and Smiley under center this drive. He'll give it to Austin. Nope, keeps it himself. Good play action, and he's going to score. He tucked it in the gut of Austin, pulled it out, said, I'm going to the house.
If you put the ball in Austin's gut, he commands that people pay attention to him, and that opens up so much of the offense, because even though the quarterback touches the ball every time, it generally sticks in the fullback or B-back's belly every time as well.
That's 2 running touchdowns for Smiley tonight, who says, I like this game tonight just fine.
You can see where the fullback really got hammered there, but you have to take one for the team if you're the B-back.
Great field vision by Smiley. He knew just when to turn and found his open lane. No one really touching him. The point is good. Oh, my goodness, it's 41-10.
Yeah, it's getting ugly. You can see Georgia Southern at this stage of the game. You'll see some other guys get to play. What I would like to see out of the Mocs is that they just hold their composure, continue to play hard, because there's always next week.
The other finals around the Southern Conference today, we said earlier, Furman defeated Hofstra 44-41 in 2 overtimes. App State all over the Citadel, 45-13. It's a final now. Elon over at North Carolina A&T, 12-9. And, of course, here, 41-10. Georgia Southern out in front. Crowd having a good old time with this ball game.
When you look at the conference and overall, I think App State has shown that they're going to be a good football team as well as Furman. But you better watch them Terriers, man. They have been playing solid football.
And for a couple close plays, what could this season be right now for Georgia Southern? Because their losses, 3 points and 4 points.
And that's the difference. And I think it starts with, when you talk about you have Foster really coming out this game. He's showing that he is the man for the offense. There's no question about who the quarterback is. If there were, they've been answered tonight.
Yep.
And so now he just has to build on that as the team rallies around him.
Good all-around game for the Eagles. The Mocs trying to find something, anything, to answer the call. It will be Hassel on the run back. And my goodness, the Eagles en masse. I think somebody pumped them up and said, you're not going to let 80 do anything.
And 80's been the one consistent guy, along with the running back with Davis on that field tonight, and they did a good job of corralling Hassel.
They were heat-seeking missiles on that play. 3 plays, 78 yards, 49 seconds. What can you say? It was
time of possession.
Kraft and Smiley. They've done it with 7-minute drives. They've done it with 1- and 2-minute drives. They're scoring, I don't want to say at will, but they're scoring relentlessly.
I think you can say at will now.
Okay, sure.
But one thing you've noticed, that 10's been on the scoreboard for quite a while now. You can see that. And Georgia Southern defense has not played bad this year. They gave up the 38 in the overtime win, but you can take the points when you win. But in the losses, they gave up 20, 21, 24 points. So they've been playing well.
2 touchdowns in the first, 2 touchdowns in the second, 2 touchdowns in the third. I'd say that's a pretty consistent workout for the Eagles. And the crowd well behind them, and the Mocs got 5 free yards on the offsides. It's going to be LaRonnie Davis. He's come up big today, but here, maybe a yard, if that.
Well, it's a good time to work on your passing game. If you're going to have a chance to get back in the game, you got to extend the game. And by throwing the ball, you can extend the game. You know you're a good running team.
Yeah.
They've shown tonight that they can run the football. They've had 24 rushes for 169, 25 rushes for 169 yards. So they can run the football. Now you got to throw the ball to stay in the ball game.
But on the other side, Georgia Southern has 400+ yards on the ground. Only 14 of that total yardage on the screen right there, folks. Only 14 of that was in the air. 435 yards on the ground.
So when you play Georgia Southern, you automatically say, I got to stop the run.
No doubt about that. Mocs will get a first down. Under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. So they've got time to work with. Oh, there's some confusion out there. Michael Johnson, number 7, lined up on the near side. He's holding up his hands in that universal, I don't know. They'll give the ball up the gut to Abdul Salam. So Johnson not involved anyway, which is a good thing for number 7, because he was clearly confused at the snap.
Had no idea what the play was, just decided I'd come off the ball hard and block somebody. So when in doubt, block somebody.
Yeah. Be effective in some way. And so another first down for the Mocs. They're out to their own 42. Handoff goes up the middle.
Look almost similar like a Georgia Southern set with the 2 wingbacks and the 1 B-back. Maybe they're going to run a little option. They know how effective it is, so maybe they're going to try a little less out.
Relying a little more on the sophomore out of Atlanta, Muhammad Ahmad Abdul Salam, who's a mouthful. I bet he always run out of letters, when you're trying to put something together.
See, look at their set. It's the identical set to what Georgia Southern used. Let's see if they sprinkle a little option in here.
I think they got away with a little motion on the left side. The pass is picked off by Mooring. Mooring's got open field. He's got Miller in front of him now. And bowled down by the quarterback.
What a great athletic play by Mooring. He made a great one-handed. I know the linebackers always practice that one-handed interception.
Mooring with the big defensive play, and the Mocs have got to say, oh boy, here we go again. Under 2 minutes left in the quarter. Georgia Southern's going to go on offense. What a catch and a great run.
He just followed the quarterback eyes. You can see him just mirroring the quarterback eyes, going right to the spot where he's supposed to be as a linebacker. He's played well tonight. He really done a really good job tonight.
Thought sticking was illegal. Look at him put that hand up there and bring that thing back in. So first down, Smiley gives it up the middle to Andrews.
Georgia Southern really just controlling the line of scrimmage. I know I keep saying it, but when you get that kind of push on first down, you know a run's coming. UT got to change up something, blitz the linebackers.
The Mocs have got to be worn out right about now. Their defense has been on the field a lot in the third quarter, and they've had it pounded at them. They've had it run around them. They've seen it come at them all different ways. Smiley to Andrews again. Bowling forward for more yards. That's going to be a first down.
And Andrews has been a good substitute for Austin because he's ran tough between the tackles as well. I think we might can get you behind the line and you can run with that push.
Maybe not as well.
You want to get closer to the goal line.
Yeah, give me that free push into the end zone maybe, but I'll leave the hard running up to you, sir. Smiley to Andrew. Fumbled the ball. Smiley did a good job, lucky job there, landing
back on it. And that's one of the high-risk things you have with the option, where that ball sometimes the B-back squeezes too hard and the quarterback don't squeeze hard enough, and that's how the ball is laid on the ground.
Little technique, a little timing, and next thing you know, the ball is squirting free.
And you would think that Smiley and Andrews get a lot of work together, though, them being both the backups. So you would think that operation would be just a little smoother between them.
So Darius Smiley, junior from Pensacola, rolling to his left, keeping the ball. You saw number 28, Chris Covington, almost kind of say, hey, give it to me. And like, Smiley, no, man, no, that's a bad idea.
I've scored with it twice, so why would I give it up?
He's looking at two defenders standing right next to Covington. At the end of the play, he's like, okay, I'll block. And he rolls the man down. That's going to end the third quarter of play. Wow, 3rd and 10. Georgia Southern up 41-10. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. We are back at Paulson Stadium, Statesboro, Georgia. 41-10 the score here as the fourth quarter set to begin. The Eagles all over the Mocs right now. And the Eagles trying to put it in one more time. They've got a 3rd and 10 at the 12. The officials are going to reset the play clock. You know what? Paulson Stadium is definitely a home field advantage. 136-17 here, and you're looking at the flagpole holding the 6th national championship.
And I got to admit to you, one of those 17 was mine.
Yes.
And 2 of those flags are mine.
2 of those. Yeah, the flags more so than the one of the 17. Smiley is going to throw. He's got a man in the middle. The bull rush down.
That's the only way to describe that. It was a bull rush. I tell you what, to go back to the flags, this is just a great place to play football. The turf holds up well, and the people are real close to the game. And it's just a great place to play. We call it our house.
And they treat it that way. Well, 4th down and 3. They're going to send Dudley out there to kick. A few, there those banners one more time, flapping in the breeze. And
catch a good breeze, and just a lovely sight.
No doubt. Kick is blocked, knocked down, and kicked into the line. And a little extra on the end there. In some situations, that throwing the man down constitutes unnecessary roughness. There is already a flag on the field unconnected to the end of that play.
Yeah, you got offsides. Look like the guy who actually blocked it got a fast start. I didn't get his number. Got a fast start on the play. Looked like it'll be a 1st down.
Yep. And Mocs employing Murphy's Law tonight. If it can go wrong, it will. They had the hard fight early, and it's been slipping further and further away. Untimely drops, untimely penalties. And the offense back onto the field for the Eagles.
You gotta, when you're in a situation like this, you gotta keep your composure because you don't want it to carry to the next game.
So it actually, because it's only half the distance, is still going to be 4th down. It's 4th and 1 from the 3. If it was a 5-yard penalty, it would have been a 1st down. Smiley blasts through. Did he get in the end zone?
Touchdown.
Yes, he did.
That was your play, too.
Just blow them all back.
Just blow them all back into the end zone, and you sneak it in there.
Well, if you know you can do that, you can't lose.
You can't lose.
If you know you can blow them off the ball, that is the essence of football.
And they established that they were going to dominate the line of scrimmage from the first series until this point in the game.
Smiley has scored 3 touchdowns tonight. Probably not. If you said, who's going to score 3 touchdowns tonight for the Eagles, he wouldn't have been the first name on your list. He probably wouldn't have been the second name on your list.
He'd have been probably the 5th name on the list. And when you look at it, Smiley has 3. You would have said Jermaine Austin would have had 3.
48-10 is the score. Georgia Southern way out on top. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports. And there is the Georgia Southern Eagle having a good time. Why? 48-10, favoring the home team. The kick is up and away and tailing toward the sideline, well out of bounds, and that'll give a good start on this drive to the Mocs.
So you asked the question, why do Georgia Southern should have gone for it, or should have come back and re-kicked the field goal?
No, I think in this situation, as strong as they are, sure, go for it. It's out there. The worst case scenario is you're going to force the Mocs to go like 98 yards to try and score. And here's that drive, 6 plays, 25 yards, and another TD.
I thought it was a good decision. There's really no love lost between teams in the conference. When you get an opportunity to beat a conference team, you want to continue to establish yourself as a dominant team over that team.
And in some cases, when it's a runaway, it's almost looked as more of running it up when you kick the field goal instead of just running the play at scrimmage and saying, stop me.
Yes, I agree with that.
Looks to be a player injured for the Eagles. Was that Maynard? Or
JT Nash or Maynard. Like he has a cramp. Fatigue has finally caught up with. Why offensive linemen never get cramp?
Yeah. Range of motion. They don't have to go as far. Yeah, it is number 25, actually, JT Nash, the sophomore. And he's getting stretched out. He is not feeling too good right now.
Yeah, it's a good time for some young guys to play.
I got a trivia question for you, Tracy Ham.
Trivia question.
Well, do you know the last time that a Georgia Southern quarterback passed for more than 300 yards? It's a tough one. Yeah. Because it's not going to be tonight, that's for sure.
The last time would have been Greg Hill against Florida A&M in '99.
No, actually, it would have been you in the 1AA championship game in 1986 against Arkansas State, which you also had more than 100 yards rushing in that game. But 306 yards passing, 240 games. That's the last time.
Wow.
Well, we're going to step aside while they're working out the cramps here on Mr. Nash. You're watching CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Well, hey, have a look at that. That is Tracy Ham you're looking at. Here's me behind the ball. There's Tracy Ham. And we were talking about the last time that a quarterback had 300 yards, and here he is. It's Tracy Ham. He had more than 300 yards passing and more than 100 yards rushing in that game.
You talked about the pass first, so you should have shown a pass first instead of a run, but okay, we can take it. We had a very good group of guys then.
That was a national championship game against Arkansas State, and that's one of those flags we were looking at, and you know what? No one else has ever or will ever wear that number 8. Miller rolling to his left. Passes. Oh, Gilmore got the ball. Rather, Johnson, Michael Johnson, number 7, and ruled incomplete. But he got popped.
When you think about a seat up high, a bird's eye view, you see it coming. And up here, you can see that coming.
Rico Zachary feeling really good about himself after that. With good reason. He leveled Michael Johnson. Popped that ball right back out of there and forcing a 3rd down.
You like to see him still play hard. You can see him running hard, and boom, just great timing.
Miller, high snap, quick toss to his right to Hassel, who's going to get the first and get out of bounds at midfield.
I don't think tonight that Hassel's been brought down by the first attempted tackler. He's done a great job of eluding tacklers and getting extra yards after the catch.
And folks, just to tell you the rest of the story, the sidebar to the last time quarterback passed for more than 300 yards, that was, Tracy here in the '86 championship game. The last time a Georgia Southern quarterback passed for more than 400 yards, well, again, it was Tracy in the championship game the year before.
Now, do I have to take you to dinner now, or
we'll settle that after the game.
We'll settle it up after the game.
But that's a span for the 300-yard game of more than 240 games since a 300-yard passer and 255 games for a 400-yard passer in a game. But But that notwithstanding, of course, this is a run-first offense, and that's what we're seeing. 400 yards on the ground in this game, and the tradition of Georgia Southern
right.
football.
And we ran the ball well those years, but teams started loading up on the line of scrimmage because they didn't feel like we could throw the ball, and we were able to somehow prove them wrong.
And year after year, they know that it's going to be run first, and year after year, they have a hard time stopping.
Certainly, it's always going to be run first because in this, I think in football, you have to establish the run in order to be successful.
And there's Coach Allison, and he knew what he had to do today, and he called a lot of the right plays, I think. I think they really did good things at good times, but sometimes just one little thing in execution. And again, the difference between winning and losing sometimes isn't that much.
I thought Coach Allison had a great game plan. Sometimes game plans you get chased off of them, but I thought their game plan coming here was the right game plan. They did a good job, just didn't execute at critical times in the game.
And props to Mike Sewak and his bunch tonight because they have executed when they've needed to over and over again.
Certainly have. And, coaching is such a tough business because he goes from being in the hot seat to doing it. Coach, that's a great job. We just took some time to get yourself back online.
David Willingham, the latest to get worked on the field, and it is a warm night out there, folks. Don't let it fool you. There's a little breeze, but it is warm. It is humid, and they're starting to kind of fall out a little here and there and cramp up.
Well, if you're Jermaine Austin on the sideline, you get to take your pads off and you get the cooler. That's what happened when you're the man, I guess.
So 1st and 10. Miller hands the ball off to Abdus Salam.
And, folks, I never got an opportunity to take my pads off because the games were always so close.
Yeah, there's those flags again. Yeah.
Certainly didn't take them off in either one of those games.
Nope. Well, it's 2nd and 6. Chattanooga Mocs. They had gotten to 2-0 and then ran into a buzzsaw play in Memphis, and they're 2-1. Nice little play action by Miller, rolling to his right, keeps it, looking for the marker. He gets a first down and gets out of bounds.
Well, I think I would make if they haven't already, I would make a quarterback substitute here. I would get my starter out the game, and I would let my backup get some work now because obviously the game's out of hand. Only thing you can do is risk injury. Georgia Southern have a lot of young guys in the game now, and so I would essentially do the same if I'm the UT Mocs, because now you got to get ready for the next one. But as you see, that's not the case because I see Hassel still in there. So
Hassel and Miller still going with some of the A crew. Flag goes flying.
And that's tough. Now you lose a guy like Hassel, and he's certainly been one of the better offensive players tonight.
A substitution violation is going to push the Mocs back here. So that's tough. Those kind of penalties there at this stage in the game. It's just lack of focus, perhaps, or.
Yeah, well, the kids understand that this game is virtually over every way but on the clock. And so what they're doing, they're probably losing some focus.
Miller under center, backs in the eye. And he will keep it. Look out. Ball goes straight up with the contact and intercepted.
Now, the Mocs offense might be losing focus, but if you're on that defense and you're one of the young guys that's getting an opportunity to play, you're loving it. You're going, this is my time to play in front of my parents and my home crowd.
That's number 48, Larry Long, who waited a long time for that ball to come down. The senior from Smyrna got himself an INT. That play was made in the offensive backfield with the ball being basically tipped at the hand of Miller.
Just a great pass rush, and the ball got tipped and up in the air, and I almost wanted to signal for fair catch.
Yeah, that was a moonshot, and Long, the lucky recipient, and he's feeling pretty good. He's got a smile on his face. And so here goes Smiley and the Eagles offense with 12.5 minutes left in the game. Up the middle, number 39, Lance Turner getting a shot now.
Going deep into the roster.
Junior from Alpharetta getting the ball.
But you can see UT defense still have their starters out there. And so, I'm not sure what most coaches' philosophy are in this situation. but you certainly don't want to get anybody injured. Smiley needs to work because obviously Jason took all the reps early. Smiley just took the touchdowns.
We were wondering maybe if at some point we might just see the true freshman from Lakeland, Florida, Chris Griffin. He got some reps in practice this week, and maybe late in the game we might get a look at him. Smiley, good moves, and he drops the ball. Falls back on it. Good quick reaction. But as he got to midfield, that ball got stripped right out of his hand.
Defense did a good job of stripping the ball.
Well, and that's got to be one of the primary things they're telling them on the sideline for the mocks is you get that ball back somehow. Don't give up the fight, even in a lopsided game like this.
Yeah, you certainly want to see your kids continue to play hard with a lot of effort. You don't want to ever see them give up because a lot of things will carry on into the next game. It'll make it a really tough week of practice.
Out of the huddle and quick up to the line are the Eagles. Smiley will hand to his up man, and not much doing there for number 28, Chris Covington. Covington, a freshman. That'll make it second down. And yet 10 fumbles, 5 lost this season. In fact, each team came into this game in the minus in the turnover ratio.
And you can see tonight they did a better job of they fumbled there, but they didn't lose it. But, you know, they did a better job of managing the ball. You know that's something the coaches worked on during the week's practice.
You can't do that if this is a close one. Smiley's going to keep. Good move to make him miss, and he's going to get close to the first down marker.
Now, I've been impressed with Smiley. You know, I've watched him, and I've watched him manage the offense. He's handled himself with a lot of poise as he's come in the game.
And he's got a lot of good subtlety to the move. He looks like he's just wiggling a shoulder or something and making him just swing and miss at him.
Maybe not the foot speed that Foster has, but he certainly has a command of the offense, and this is about managing the offense.
So Darius Smiley getting a chance to show what he can do, and he's doing it very well. 3 touchdowns on the ground for him. Good job at avoiding a lot of contact. Hand off again, this time to Lance Turner.
And what I'd like to see out of Mox is I just like to continue to see them play at a high level with a lot of character. Don't lose your composure. It's going to be ball games like this. They've had this is one of those ball games, you know, that you're just not able to get it done. And so I know Coach just want to see his kids continue to play hard and continue to play with a lot of character. And that may be one of the reasons that his starting defensive unit is still on the field.
Maybe he's teaching them a lesson about staying in there for 60 minutes. Pitch back to Melvin Greer, number 5. First chance to call his name tonight, freshman.
And you can see Joy Southern has done some substituting on offense. I know we talked about Smiley, but, you know, you want to see Smiley here because he's the number 2 quarterback, and you want to get him some rep. I don't know if they're going to put the true freshman in. It's a case they may be trying to redshirt him.
Yeah.
They may be trying to redshirt him, and if it's a case where they got to have him, they'll put him in.
Greer, all of 5'6", 171 pounds. He's a freshman. Maybe he's still growing. Smiley, keeper, right side, brings it back toward the middle. They're still missing him. Arm tackle's not working, and he's right at the marker again.
There's that subtlety that you talked about. Looked like they had him, and he just made just a slight move to get back to the backside of the defense when everybody was pursuing him.
Yeah, it's not big jukes and dancing. It's subtle little shifts that keep the Mocs off balance. And that's pretty impressive for a guy who's not your number 1.
Right. And you just want to see that because there always come a time where that backup quarterback is thrust into the limelight. And the question is, has he had enough reps to get himself ready?
Smiley goes to the sideline to talk it over while they bring out the chains. They're going to measure on this one. And the answer is it's just that short.
Now, you got to do a better job of giving us, is it a first or not before? I mean, it's easy to wait, you know. I want to see what kind of eye you have from the box. You know, what kind of eye do you have from the box?
I think he was short by about that much.
That much.
9 rushes, 36 yards, 3 touchdowns. His ratios are pretty solid there.
Yeah, those touchdowns, we'd love to see those touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. He's done a very good job tonight. And like I said, I know we've talked about him, but he's done a good job of handling the offense.
8 minutes, 38 seconds. Clock now rolling. That's what's left in the fourth quarter in the game. Smiley's going to push it forward. He'll get it.
And this is a tough part of the ball game. If you're the UT Mocs, you're trying to stay focused. You like, clock, can you keep running? And it's 8 minutes seem like an eternity to you when you're on that side of the ball game. And so you just want the clock to move. And if you're Georgia Southern, the young guys are saying, no, slow down the clock. I want to get some more playing time. The defense guys are probably chomping at the bits to get back on the field for Georgia Southern.
So Smiley's got a 1st and 10 at the 32. His team is up 38 points. Pounding in the middle with 39, Lance Turner. A little bit here, a little bit there. Under 8 minutes to go.
Well, this is really what makes a week's work fun. When you put in a good week's work and then you get an opportunity to participate in the game, and it makes you get a little hungry next week, say, well, if I give them a good look next week, I'll get to play a little more of the week. And so this is good for the young kids for Georgia Southern football.
We talked earlier about how patience is a limited quantity in Statesboro. I think they've certainly bought themselves a week, but I know that they probably haven't bought themselves more than that because they're just going to have to do it again.
Well, I think not only in Statesboro, but in the business of coaching, it's such a tough business. You know, one week everybody's mad at you, and the next week everybody love you. Then it's, well, what about this game or what about this game? It's always before you as a coach, and you know, you have to take your hat off to the coaches, both coaching staff. I thought UT Chattanooga was very well prepared. Their team was prepared, just couldn't make the plays. I thought Coach Sewak had his team prepared, and they made the plays. And I thought Georgia Southern was at more of a crossroad than UT.
So the 3rd and 6 play coming up now. Smiley gets in under center. Motion to the right. Smiley rolling right and throwing. Is it caught? Was bobbled. Yes, reception made. Number 80, Ryan Kelly, another freshman, getting his hands on the ball.
Gotta be happy if you're a freshman and you're catching the ball.
Freshman out of Marietta, calling a lot of new numbers here in the fourth quarter. There's Mike Sewak's numbers. 28 and 12, his 4th season, and eyes on him every game.
This got to be one of the toughest Division I AA jobs there is in the country. You know, you follow Eric Russell, Paul Johnson, national championships, and, you know, people want to see championships. They don't want to see anything else other than that. And I know every program says that, but people in Statesboro really want to see championship. It's a tough scenario, but Mike's doing a good job. I think Mike's been there. He's been in those big ball games, and he understands that.
That was a 4th down play. The reception had come up short, so they went on 4th. Like we said before, kicking the field goal, and that point seems like you're running something up, but they do not get it. Greer came up short. So 48-10, it'll go back to the Mocs, and you're watching on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. You're watching football now, but championship boxing is next on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. You know, if this was a boxing match, I think it would have been a TKO a little while ago.
I think about in the 3rd round, it'd have been a TKO.
Mocs now abandoning some of the pretenses and smashing the ball at the middle. Looks like a quarterback change now.
And I think it's a good change. I think that's a good job by Coach Allison. Changing quarterbacks, giving his backup quarterback some reps.
Number 10, Matt Lopez, junior, 6'4", coming into the game. And we're down to just over 6 minutes left in this one. Lopez back to throw. Throws to his right. He's got a man and a 1st down. So good showing for Lopez coming into the game and finding Michael Johnson.
You know, we talked an awful lot about the offense, but we still look up there and it's 10 points. And that is an outstanding effort, because when it started, you couldn't have told me that they were only going to score 10 points the way they moved the ball.
And it's not for lack of trying. Chattanooga has a 100-yard rusher. They've got a 100-yard receiver in this game. I mean, they've done good things, but they haven't been consistent.
And that's the name of this business, is consistency and making plays at critical states of the game.
Talking about some critical mistakes, we were looking over the scoreboard. You know, number 9 Louisville is not just trailing unranked South Florida. They're getting squashed by unranked South Florida, 38-7 in the third period.
I guarantee his starters are still in the game.
That's a colossal ouch right there. There were a couple other upsets late in the fourth. Unranked Wisconsin was leading 14th ranked Michigan by 3. Looked like they might hold on there. Lopez looking downfield, well over the top there. He was trying to find number 86 Brian Heflin, but no can do on that one.
You're talking about the scores. I'm looking at I was watching the Georgia Tech Virginia Tech game, and you never would have thought they would have given up 50+ points to Virginia Tech.
There's some big numbers hung out there today. Michigan State put 61 on Ron Zook's Illinois squad, and 49 for Florida and 51 for Virginia Tech, all in victories. Texas Tech a 56-0 shutout brewing against, well, Indiana State, but there you go. Lopez got protection, dumps it down short. Good move. Will get a first down there.
What you see out of the backups, you'll see the backups, they're always fresh because they've been standing around, and you'll see they have a lot of little pop in their legs. They got a lot of little, you can see they got a lot of energy. Just good to see them get on the field. And, you know, you never know, these kids may be in the game later on in the year at critical time.
The Mocs cross midfield. See Rico Zachary there for the Eagles defense. Lopez in the shotgun. He's got 4.5 minutes to work with. He'll hand this ball off to Abdus Salam. Tries to cut it back, goes through the pile. Hassel with a little extra push in the play.
Can you believe Hassel's still in the game?
Yeah, he's still in the game, and he's clearly just as frustrated now as he was early in the game because he's playing his heart out.
Yeah, he's playing.
And it's just not working.
And he has, 8 receptions for 119 yards. He's had a good night.
And there you see him, number 80. He's lined up wide left to the near side of your screen. Lopez looking Hassel's way. He'll get the ball cutting across the middle to the 30 as he leaps past the tackler.
And he's still playing very hard, too. You can see when he gets that ball, he just explodes out of there.
Yeah, he just kind of jumped his way past Larry Long. Long got enough of him to bring Hassel down. And Hassel will take a breather on the sidelines now. Wonder if we'll see more of him. Let's have one more look at that. Here comes Hassel. And there he goes. Knocking him down like bowling pins, too. Lopez looking left. He's got his man Johnson. And close to the 20-yard line. And close to another first down.
And that hitch has been there all night for them. I'm waiting for the hitch and go. They used to do it to us all the time in the playground. You jump the hitch, and boom.
They drawing it in the sand.
Drawing it in the sand, go, okay, all right, now hitch and go, we got it baited. Quarterback just talked to him, so we'll see if he just got the old hitch and go going.
Okay, you're the bottle cap, you're the piece of glass. You go long. All right, they give the ball to Abdus Salam. Smacked down at the 17. Looked like number 1 met number 1 on that play. Zachary in on the tackle on Abdus Salam.
When the game started, it was a very high-octane offensive output. Chattanooga's still done a good job offensively, but I just didn't think their defense adjusted at all to what Georgia Southern was doing, or they had no answers for it.
Chattanooga has maintained the balance they've had all season long. 216 on the ground, 222 in the air. The total yardage difference is not all that lopsided. Ball off. A finishing hit there. Ball off the hands of Michael Gilmore, and he paid for it. There's the Mocs on the sideline, and you know they've benefited from some players coming into the program. And here's what we're talking about. You look at the programs they're coming from, like Georgia and Tennessee, St. Preux from Tennessee, the SEC schools, the Big Ten schools on there, the ACC schools. So there's a lot of guys who have, been with big programs finding their way to Chattanooga.
And it's all about chemistry. Do the chemistry match with what you have? I just believe that you sprinkle 1 or 2 in there, but when you start getting that to dominate your program, when you come, it's a difference between going to Tennessee and UT Chattanooga. The amount of The level of play is different, and then you just got a different brand of football. Not that this is a bad brand, but it's a different brand, and, you know, the expectations are different.
There's number 10, Matt Lopez. He's got 2.5 minutes left in the game, and his team is well down. Ball tipped and almost produced a touchdown off the carom.
Wow.
Just like they drew it up.
Just like they drew. Now, that's the one I drew up in the sand.
Oh, okay.
Okay, off of your shoulder pad, and then you'll catch it in the end zone, but don't let him intercept it.
There's Lopez. He's a junior, 6'4". He's got a good quarterback build. He's coming in second here behind Miller and playing a little mop-up.
And I thought Miller played well. I thought he managed their team well. I don't think he made any spectacular plays, but he didn't do anything to hurt the team.
So here we are with, well, only 2 seconds on the play clock. Gets it off. Lopez looking right all the way, and he's got nobody over there. Good recovery by number 45, John Parkinson, the tight end, to get back close to the ball, but Lopez was throwing into space.
And Zachary thought for sure he had an interception, but him waiting on the ball is a bad thing for a defensive back. He has to attack the football.
And that play turns it over on downs. So Georgia Southern gets the ball with 2:23. They can pretty much run this one out and call it a night. And a good night at that.
It's a real chess match going on the Georgia Southern sideline. The offensive young guys saying, hurry up.
Yeah.
The defensive guys saying, hurry up so we can get back on the field. Everybody's wanting to get back on the field.
Everybody wants some snaps in a game like this. They all get a chance. Going to pile in the middle there. Look like Lance Turner with the ball, number 39.
And coach is taking his starters off the field, so that's a good sign. I think UT is certainly a much improved ball club. They've shown that they do have some talent. It's a case of now, can they execute in the time of the most at a critical state in the ball game?
Under 2 minutes. It's going to be a 2nd and 9, but they don't really care about down and distance. It's that clock that they're all taken care of right about now. 48-10. It's been Georgia Southern's ball game for a while now. Smiley keeps it. No gain, maybe even a loss of 1 there as it gets down to the 1.5-minute mark. Georgia Southern, 6 national titles, and always in pursuit for another, always trying to build their way up and get back to that level, because that's the goal every year. And, you know, look at this, 304th game here since football was reestablished in 1982. And what they've managed to do here, winning percentage, 75% of the games have been victories, and we had a digit missing there, I think. So it was, trust me, they've won 3 out of every 4.
Another gold star.
Yeah, they've won 3 out of every 4 games they've played, and what a program! I mean, you know, a lot of teams, you look over the history of their program, and they kind of break close to even because they have good years. They have bad years, and look at this: 8 straight winning seasons, 22 out of 23 years. Tracy, what do you have to do to keep up that kind of program?
It starts with your foundation and what the expectations are. When we got here, when we came to Georgia Southern, you know, you got Eric Russell, who got plenty of water dumped on him, or Gatorade dumped. We only dumped water on him when we first got here because we didn't have the Gatorade. So
what Coach Sewak doesn't see behind him is there is a cooler getting real close. They're going back off right now. It's because of timeout on the field.
So the foundation is the key to doing anything. And then once you establish that, all night we've talked about winning national championship. We hadn't even really talked about winning a conference championship. So the expectations are so high that this program talk about national championship, and you can see the dejection on Coach's face.
That says it all.
It says it all on his face, you know, and I think he's wanting to build his program. He wants to get a foundation so that he can come in our house and withstand some of the pressure that's being put on him. The pressure was put on him to score tonight, and he couldn't keep up with it.
Don't you think Coach Allison and the Mocs had to feel coming into this game, this is our chance? I know we've never won in this building. I know they have a lopsided advantage. But look, they're 1-2. We're 2-1. We're playing good ball. We're balanced. This is our time. And they got a punch in the mouth.
They got punched in the mouth from the first drive to this point in the game, and it's just you know, sometimes history, you have to look at history, because what you saw tonight is what has happened to them when they played Georgia Southern.
Ball game is down to its last 16 seconds. And it's going to end with a punt, presumably, or maybe the Mocs will wind up with a play afterward. Kick is away. And under 10 seconds as the run back begins. And with 5 seconds, or 4.2, that's where the Mocs are going to take over. Tracy, sum this game up for me. What did we see here tonight?
Too much ground game from Georgia Southern, not enough big plays from the UT Mocs. Just a case where they were just outmanned and we were able to control the line of scrimmage.
Hats off to Mike Sewak and his crew. They had a good game plan, and they executed it.
They did a good job.
I think the Mocs had a good game plan and couldn't consistently execute it, and there's your difference.
Yeah, you can see the looks on the coaches. It's amazing the looks can tell you who win and lose.
You know they worked hard in practice. You know they worked hard in the film room, and it's 48-10. 4.2 on the clock. This one's just going to be a handoff, and that will end the football game. 48-10, the Georgia Southern University Eagles. Home team knocks off the visiting UTC Mocs. The coaches converging at halftime. One feeling really good about the results of this. One not so much. Coach Sewak and the Eagles get the victory, pull the 2-2. Coach Allison and the Mocs take the loss and drop the 2-2. There's no handshake. There's Coach Allison kind of meandering his way off the field. So we're going to take a timeout here. 48-10 Eagles. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports. There's your final. The Georgia Southern Eagles 48, the Chattanooga Mocs 10. And I'm Mark Bryant. With me is Tracy Ham. And Tracy, one last time, what does each program take from this game? What do they do next?
I think it was Georgia Southern did a good job of reestablishing what they want to do, and that's run the football. But I think more importantly was their quarterback got established, and I think that he'll build from. For the UT Mocs, they have a good football team. They have good talent. Now they have to find a way to put the extra time in to come up with the plays when they're available for when the opportunity presents itself, and that's going to determine if they're middle of the pack Southern Conference team or they're bottom of the pack Southern Conference teams. Can they make the plays in the big ball games? I know this is a welcome sight for them to come back home because they have been on the road for the last 3 weeks.
And real fast, who were you most impressed with tonight? Just give me a name.
Jason Foster, by far.
Jason Foster would be our MVP tonight. He had a heck of a ball game. 48-10, Eagles over the Mocs. Georgia Southern, the big winner. We've been real happy to be with you tonight. We'll be back at Statesboro. We've got more Georgia Southern football coming at you later this season. The next one, October 8th, Western Carolina. One more time, your final tonight, 48-10, Eagles over Mocs. Thanks for watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports.